by The Sound of Violence.
Okay, things are starting to go pretty poorly here for Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Things were going so well just a few minutes ago, and now
only 20 seconds left in the round. Can he make it? Oh no.
Yeah, that's going to be the end there. Big John. So Justin Gaethje trying to do the backflip. He falls down off the top of the cage, and he tried to do it again. He couldn't get up there.
Two failed attempts. He kind of gives a little hug to the security guy. Get out of the way, security guy. He will not be denied on that cage backflip.
No, he wanted that. He wanted that bad. Third time's a charm for Justin Gaethje on the backflip. Doing the money sign.
Yeah. All these guys in suits trying to talk to Justin Gaethje, and he's just like, whatever, bro.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are an MMA podcast to let you know the MMA podcast you should catch, skip, and can't miss each week. I am Pulver, and I'm back yet again with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. How's it going, man?
Still alive.
Hey, that's good news.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know when that super COVID's gonna creep up on you, right?
I mean, to be fair, I think there was 80,000 new cases today, so shouts out to us for winning, like always, as a country. Well, that's a good way to start the show. Jesus, Chris. Well, on that note, why don't we segue right into something a little more positive? Which
Better
is
than me saying not dead yet.
Well, I mean, to be fair. Anyway, I'm just going to keep on moving on. We'll segue into something a little more positive, hopefully, which is our Pava Vodka presents, Doug Stanhope presents, our sponsors, which are totally real and super not fake. And, Chris, what are you drinking on this week?
So, first sponsor is my brother's homegrown cannabis.
Hey!
You know why I'm a little bit stoned? It's because I'm relaxed. I wasn't stressed out earlier, just kind of I'm mentally preparing myself for this beer I'm about to drink, because it's a big boy beer.
Yeah, I don't know what it is yet, but Chris did say before the show he's a little nervous about it.
A little bit. Yeah. I'm also very excited though too, because I know it's going to taste awesome. So, here, let's let you get to your beer first.
Oh, okay. Well, while you're doing that, I will shout out, I am smoking on some, what is this? This is Mendocino cake, I think? Sonoma cake. I knew it was somewhere up in that fucking area. Sonoma cake by Florical. It is fucking fire. Because, you know, we be weeding down here in San Diego. I'm about to be weeding way more now since I'm being the fuck out of Santee finally, which I'm real happy about. But I'm sure we'll get to that later at some point. I am drinking this week, Chris. I thought it was appropriate. Have you ever had any of the Wild Barrel brews before?
Is that like from Allagash?
No, Wild Barrel is a brewery. It's the one that is headed up by Dr. Bill Sysak. You've probably seen who's like the former Cicerone at Stone. You definitely would know him if you saw him. I was gonna say bald dude with a big ass beard, but that's like 90% of the brewing industry.
Yeah,
literally, it's half of burning beard and half a stone. To be fair, other than Greg Cook's stoned ass. But so Bill started this brewery a while back. You probably know them. They have the Vice beers. So you've probably seen their Vice like apricot or their Vice. They're like
I'm sure I would recognize it.
You would for sure if you saw the labels, because I know like people like Tap House and everybody all has them. Parlicker, Jimbo's, everybody in Claremont shots out. But I'm drinking one of their hazy IPA, which is called Uncle Sam's on the Juice. And it has a picture of a fucking hippie-ass looking Uncle Sam, and I'm excited to try it, because I actually haven't I've only ever had their, like, straight up, like, either Vice beers or, like, all their fruited stuff. I haven't had any of their actual IPAs.
Nice.
Oh, that's super good, actually. It's definitely... Huh. Oh, it's dry hopped. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that does sound refreshing.
Yeah, Vic's Secret Cascade and CTZ, which I don't know what that is. It sounds like a New Zealand hop, maybe?
So what I got is a collaboration.
Already excited.
AleSmith.
Okay.
It's their Speedway Stout meets a Belgian-style quadruple ale from Amagang in Cooperstown, New York.
Dude.
So it's called Philosophy and Velocity.
Yeah, that's a great name because, of course, what was the beer? Omegang? Omegang, of course, being a Belgian brewery, makes sense for the philosophy angle with all the monks, right?
Yeah, it's like you need to drink this. You know, they tell you a snifter glass. I mean, I have one, but maybe if I am man enough to have a second beer during this episode, which probably not, I'll just drink out of this badass looking can. So
there you go. Well, yeah, that sounds delicious, dude.
let's go ahead and try this bad boy out. So
that's gonna be a big ass beer.
So this is a Russian Imperial
Belgian stout.
Belgian style quadruple. It's 11.5 ABV.
I would think it would be bigger, honestly.
That's what I thought too.
Because Speedway's what, 12? 13?
Speedway, I think, is like 10.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And most quads are like in the 8 to 12 range, right?
Yeah, wow.
I bet a lot of flavor going on.
Really, really good. But like it's one of those beers when you first sip it, you're like, yeah, this is dangerous.
Right. Yeah. Quads are all like that, where you're like, this is way too drinkable for how strong this bullshit is. Triples the same way. But actually, a lot
this
of
looks like it's gonna pour a very dark brown or kind of near black.
Yeah, I would assume that sounds
I think
fantastic.
it would be like a dark brown.
Hell yeah, man!
I don't know, but I'll pour it in a glass at some point.
Hell yeah! Well, that sounds really good. I'm gonna have to pick that up one of these days because I fucks with it.
On the pricey side for 4-pack, but it's a collab, and it's a fucking Russian stout with a quadruple. It's like that's why it's gonna be expensive.
Yeah, it's all the expensive stuff. For sure. Hell yeah, man. Well, big shots to that. And I really like this Uncle Sam's on the Juice. Hazy. Oh, it's a double IPA. That explains why it is pretty fucking hoppy. Well, that and the dry hopping. I dig it, though. Cool, man. We will go ahead and get into format, because we are not a booze show, despite my best efforts every week. We're getting there, you guys. Eventually we'll be a booze show.
Soon.
Yeah, and enough of these fucking people in this sport do enough terrible things, and eventually Chris and I will just completely abandon everything and switch over to a sweet, sweet booze show. Probably not. I like the punchy stuff. All right. Well, on that note, why don't we get into format? Let's see. I don't really have much news this week other than it is rumored on Twitter that Jordan Breen is going to be doing an episode where he is educating and regulating with TJ DeSantis again soon.
Okay.
I don't know if that officially means the Jordan Breen show is coming back. I don't know if it just means that they're doing a one-off episode. I don't know, but I'm fucking here for it. Any kind of Jordan Breen on radio content, I am the number one fucking stan of, and the world needs more of it. So fingers crossed that happens. The only other thing I had is Bella Mir made her debut this week also. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that, yeah.
Pretty dope. I mean, she's a dope wrestler and has been for a while.
Well, yeah, I think she's still only like 17, so that's more impressive because now if you start at that age and you just develop your skills while you're still basically getting stronger and shit, she's going to be a fucking beast in her early to mid 20s.
For sure. And there's some
however she wants to, I guess, pursue an MMA career. I'm assuming unless it's going to be like pure grappling.
No, I'm guessing it's. I mean, this was an MMA fight, but yeah, she's definitely going that direction. Frank's been talking about it on phone booth fighting for a couple of years now, off and on, about how Bella's been training more and all that. And there's some great videos of her just suplexing dudes fucking over and over. It's in wrestling matches. It's pretty goddamn great. But yeah, big shouts out to that because I thought that was cool. But I honestly don't have a ton of other news this week that I came across necessarily.
Should we say like matchmaking news or just quick shit?
Sure, if you have anything that you think we should bring up that we won't get to.
I mean, it's obvious. We'll just get it out of the way now. Leon Edwards, of course.
Oh, God.
That dude shot himself.
Oh, wait, you mean Leon Scott?
Leon Scott, thank you. Leon Scott, no, excuse me, Leon Scott from Birmingham. He basically said
Better
no.
than
I'm not gonna
Bizbig's
fight.
accents.
Yeah, right. He's not going to fight Wonder Boy. He's like, no, I'm not going to fight. Whatever. He probably turned down a lot of fights. He says he did not. Whatever. He said, she said, all that crap, right? Anyways, he is fighting Khamzat Chimaev because they removed him from the rankings, and basically Dana bullied him into accepting that fight, or else. So he got strong-armed and bullied and backed in the corner by Dana White.
And now he's back in the rankings
And now he's
because
number 3. And if you're Khamzat Chimaev, you are having the biggest shit-eating grin on your face because if you smash this guy or knock him the fuck out, guess who's the new number 3 and probably gets a title shot?
for sure. But also, big shouts out to all of the PR people because they that are working on the rankings panel because they sure as fuck can't call themselves journalists. You're literally doing PR, or at the very least, you're just doing work for the promotion, if not PR directly. Which is embarrassing, and you should feel bad if you're a writer in the sport still on that fucking trash panel. You should feel bad, and I've seen one of them out there trying to defend this bullshit, and it's embarrassing to watch. Yeah, man, it's fucking. I mean, let's be honest. The UFC rankings they cause as many problems as they create positive fucking marketing, right? Like, it's the same reason you had to have this whole fucking exchange in the first place is because you force numbers on people so that you can put them on ESPN so people know what the fuck is happening in the sport, even though it has zero actual relevance to anyone's ranking in the sport. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all embarrassing.
Hence also why Darren Till called out Chimaev saying, the rankings don't mean shit, let's scrap, obviously at 185.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Darren Till has a right approach. I mean, he's a big enough name where he's going to get some sort of ranked opponent.
Well,
anyway.
And Darren Till has just been on the best fucking PR run of his goddamn life lately.
Yeah, I even though it was technically
brilliant.
Insensitive, I like how the tweet of him
Jesus.
getting COVID,
Yeah.
and then he's like, COVID my ass,
You sent those to me in the opposite order, and I got so confused for a couple minutes.
No, it was from top to bottom.
No, right, but on Twitter you would read it from bottom to top. On a text thread you would read it from top to bottom.
I think it's because I sent you the picture. I just wanted to see that the first one he.
But
had
yeah,
the
it was
mask
fucking
on.
yeah, it was hilarious though. I mean, hilarious in the way that Darren, that is very much on brand for Darren Till, and I don't know, wouldn't even call it insensitive, because we all know what he's doing. He's not making fun of people with COVID. He's mostly making fun of Darren Till, or at least it seems that way to me.
Speaking of COVID,
oh god. Yeah, we're not going to share our text message thread necessarily.
No. What are you talking about? I didn't text
That's
you about
right.
that.
No, I definitely didn't.
New.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have any Dolph Lundgren gifs that were flying around either.
Yeah, or someone with their fingers crossed hoping something.
Yeah. So Ali is which makes sense because, by the way, how the fuck is he not in Abu Dhabi in every single photo op?
Yeah,
all of a sudden, it makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah. My worry is that, who has he been around lately? I bet he's been around a lot of because he always tries to say oh, I'm training with everybody, bro. I'm always on the mats with everybody, bro. So he probably got some people sick, if I was to guess. Because I don't know, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, and this is pure speculation. I don't feel like Ali's wearing a mask everywhere he goes. I'm just crazy, wild speculation on my part.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised Dana hasn't gotten it yet.
Dude, who knows if he has?
Actually, you know what?
I was about to say some shit that's going to get me in trouble. So
no. He probably has, but you think he's going to admit that?
Well, and also the levels of HGH in that dude's system. It's not hurting COVID's
probably knocked out
regeneration
COVID
rates. I mean, hey, young Jamie got COVID this week, but Joe Rogan didn't.
Saw that.
And Joe Rogan definitely over and over again keeps telling everybody how he didn't give young Jamie COVID. Which is weird how many times I've heard him say it.
Anyways, I was going to say real quick, that's all I got for news. I didn't necessarily choose to not listen to Joe Rogan's podcast anymore, but I will say I probably, out of curiosity, will check out the Kanye West one. Just to see, because I just want to see how Joe handles someone like that. I'm just very curious.
He coddles them and he lets them say trash things, I would assume, like every guest.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. Okay. Yeah, shit like that.
Oh, Kanye, have you heard about DMT, bro? There's this skunk ape in the well, no, actually that was his podcast from 5 years ago and I used to listen. Now it's like, bro, have you read the recent Gavin McInnes article? It's fucking really enlightening, man. These farmers in South Africa are just getting their shit taken because they're white.
Shit like that.
Actually,
bro,
that was still from a couple years ago.
There's no pedophiles, bro.
Oh, dude, they're literally clipping fucking things and putting them on YouTube of like, yo, why is nobody talking about all these pedophiles? You're like, what are you talking about? Everybody's talking about pedophiles everywhere.
That's just they call it was in a sick way a trend for them. They're like, oh well, let's just pretend we give a fuck and just mention this real quick, just so you know.
That's right. So now that we have officially gone off the rails at the beginning of the
up.
show, rather than waiting a little bit, this is actually probably the most political we'll get on here because honestly, all of my stuff this week is mostly all fight breakdown stuff. There were so many good fight breakdown episodes that I think I have one thing that's even like marginally not fight related or semi fight related. But I honestly this week I mostly just have a ton of catches. I don't know about you.
I have a bunch of catches as well.
Cool. So why don't we go ahead and jump right into format then? Chris, you want to start us off with the first MMA podcast people should catch this week?
Yeah, let's see here if I could even read this. I'm gonna go
that's
with.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's blurry.
It's also not written by hand. It's in text. So.
No, it's because on here it's automatically like black and white. We're good. It's like a dark background. I'm just very high. All right, The Bash. The episode titled Khabib's Greatest Test. That was definitely a catch. They discussed fight matchups that have been announced and other booking newses. Talked about Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, AJ McKee versus Darren Caldwell. That should be fun. Mm-hmm. And honestly, because like I said, I don't mind the fighters and I like that matchup. Even though Caldwell's kind of a dick, and I like AJ McKee a lot.
You just don't like Caldwell because he's not in Alliance anymore. You fucking homer.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Is when he flipped off the camera and like punched the camera in the face that one time, which was like a year or two ago.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
no,
but
he
like,
was still in Alliance. I was like, fuck this clown. Like on the side, I'm like, come on, dude. Yeah. And then he was like the dude who kept calling himself the champ once you lose. Like, dude, fuck you.
Oh yeah, with the
like, dude, I don't
thing.
mind the Alliance. And I'll admit Dominic Cruz is a dick.
Oh,
like,
that's why I like him mostly. He's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh no, he's brat. Like he's a dick and like not as like he's an asshole.
No, he's like brash. I think that's the perfect
brash.
word for it. Is brash. Yeah.
Yeah, they said Conor obviously wants a crowd, but Dana won't commit. Khabib doesn't want to give Conor any attention. Shouts out to all the fantastic journalists covering the sport where they're like, let's talk about your dead father. Can we see you cry?
That's right.
Let's ask about your dead dad 1,000 times.
Hey, we're not going to ask...
Also, Conor? Did we ask about Conor yet?
Yeah. We're not going to ask about Mike Perry's girlfriend, her ex-wife, who says he literally ground and pounded the shit out of her. Not going to bring that up at a press conference, even though the person who asked the first question at every single press conference, it was also their outlet who put out that article. No questions about that, but also Khabib, can you cry for me, baby? It's it's not good. But yeah, this October 19th episode of The Bash is great. I believe who were the guests on that? It was Gegard Mousasi, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. He was on. What did I say? Oh, by the way, real quickly, they did say they think after Adesanya fights the winner of Whittaker and Cannonier, they said he'll vacate the belt, fight Blachowicz, win the belt at 205, and then fight John Jones at heavyweight in international. And that's a lot of work. If there's anything to be said about that, if he wants to fight Jones at heavyweight, he's going to have to do like a Jared Cannonier kind of transformation. Not as drastic. It'll be interesting. I don't hate that. I think if anything, if Adesanya does fight Jones at heavyweight, he's going to be weighing in at like 215, 220, or 225. Maybe I don't know how much he could bulk up. You know what I mean? Though, while Jones will be really big. Who knows? I'm excited for that. I think that fight does happen next year, though. I know a lot of people don't think it will. I think it does. Darren Till wants Khamzat Chimaev. He'll have to wait at this point because now he is fighting Leon Scott. Gegard Mousasi was in the vote. So he's bummed out about Rafael Lovato or Rafa. I can't remember if he's Brazilian. I always fucked that up. Lovato Jr. having to leave MMA because
I
of his
do
ankle
too. He's not
condition.
right. It's
Yeah.
Rafael Lovato Jr.
I think it's Rafael. Yeah, I don't think he's not Brazilian at all. I think he's Latino. I don't know what Latin American descent his
Yeah, I
family
think
is.
he's from California though, right? Or
Yeah, but
something
I'm
like
just
that.
talking about as far as Rafael versus Rafael.
No, I
don't
got
say-
you.
I think he's Brazilian.
Yeah.
Musasi says, I'm in my prime now at 35 years old. Nathaniel Wood was on the phone. He is very pumped to fight someone like Casey Kenny. Thinks it's a fun challenge. They talk about the promotion BT Sport did on Khabib. Pete and Niall don't think Whitaker gets another title shot regardless if he wins. They said they just don't think. They said
Well, he's
they-
not
they-
off this fight, right?
they think Whitaker would have to knock out Cannonier like the first round or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, even then though, I think the other thing is like in general, I still why throw Whitaker right back into that?
Yeah.
Like it does nothing for Whitaker, and it probably doesn't do much for. Yeah, like what does another win over Whitaker do for Adesanya at this point? Like not a goddamn thing, right?
Nope. No, I agree. And then the last thing they played is that Pete played for Niall. It was clips. He said, "Guess which fighter is being shit like trash talked to?" It was Michael Johnson when he was talking trash to Justin Gaethje during Gaethje's UFC debut, saying like, I'm trying to take a man's life. I'm gonna kill you, and but they didn't play Gaethje's response saying I want to die, that kind of shit. And then like once they played, I eat my shit whole. Michael Johnson saying that.
I forgot about that. But that's a really bad way to do that.
Talk shit to Gaethje. I eat my shit whole, piece by piece. That's what he says. It's like, oh
That
god.
is.
It's like, all right, Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, 100%, dude. This is not the way to go about phrasing that, for sure.
Yeah, that was an entertaining episode. So
For sure, man. I liked it quite a bit. The batch is really solid. It can be a little guest dependent, but that was a fun one for sure. Let's see. Boy, I have so many fucking catches this week. I guess we'll start with the first one, which you guys heard a clip of on the intro. The co-main event Patreon Power Hour Justin Gaethje film study, I believe is the full title of that. Is a goddamn blast, man. They watch 4 of Gaethje's fights. It's Gaethje versus Dan Lozon.
Gaethje
Man.
versus Johnson. Not Brian Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
No,
Which was
Michael Johnson. Sorry,
Michael Johnson, and then you're right. Yeah, Brian
I was like,
Foster.
Brian Johnson, the lead singer of AC/DC. Oops.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was one other one too. The cowboy fight. But yeah, just really funny. I mean, I always enjoy watching fights with the co-main event guys. I love when they do streams for them. Their Alaska Fighting Championship episode, where they all watched an old Alaska Fighting Championship event. It's like one of my favorite things of all time. Oh, also, and if you're a patron, you might have seen them put up this week a link for a Zoom chat that they're going to be doing for the fights tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Or actually, they're probably doing the main event, or the main card rather. So it'll probably be a bit later, but yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And if you guys are gonna be in there, I will probably see you in there. But yeah, just a really fucking good episode and a great example of like just not only why that show's good, but why especially their episodes where they rewatch fights are like some of my favorite shit ever. It's just hilarious. I mean, anytime they're making jokes about Justin Gaethje not being able to do backflips off the cage, and it just because some of the wittiest rhetoric you'll hear in the MMA podcast sphere. So highly recommend it. The CME Patreon Power Hour Justin Gaethje film study. Jesus, they really don't help me with those names. Let's see, Chris, did you have any other catches for this week?
Yeah, let's see. I really enjoyed the Fight Site MMA podcast episode 29 featuring Luke Thomas.
Dude, that was awesome, right?
That was good.
It was cool seeing Luke Thomas because Luke just recently.
The comments are kind of fucked up though because I was curious. I was like, wait, how come?
Dude, don't look at comments. What's wrong?
Oh, I know, but the only reason I looked at comments because I was like, wait, how come? What's his face, Saram, and then what's the other guy's name? It's not Ed Gallo.
It's Danny Martin.
Danny Martin. How come they're not showing their face? And of course, people are like, oh, have you seen them? It's like Jesus. It's like,
Also, that's not.
It's like what?
Jesus Christ.
It's like
Everybody's the worst.
Yeah. And then Saram commented, he replied to someone, they're like, it's because Saram sounds like he's 5 years old or something like that. And this Saram commented with like a frowny face or some shit. It's like,
Sounds about right. Dude, the Fight Site guys are low-key some of the funniest people on the internet.
yeah, I think he said like, it's true, and then a frowny face or something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah, it was a really good episode overall. It was cool to see Luke on there because you a little bit see Luke be like, I feel like Luke is definitely the person just like tagging on stuff and not necessarily leading the discussion in a way that like Luke rarely does it with technique discussions, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like in most technique discussions that Luke goes into with like in a panel or with other people, he kind of drives the narrative in a lot of ways. Whereas this was the exact opposite, and part of that's because Luke's obviously guest and it's first time guest spot. But just overall, I thought it was interesting to hear Luke be like, "No, yeah, not only did you nail that, that's something I actually hadn't necessarily considered." So, man, I don't know. I'm always the biggest fan of the Fight Site guys, just because Dan Tom, Jack Slack, like these guys who are doing the very deep tape study, technical analysis stuff. Yeah. And then being able to regurgitate it in a way that's not only like understandable, but kind of makes you think about the way you're seeing things a little bit differently. It's just, yeah, I feel like that all their stuff is a really good example of that. But yeah, they had some really interesting points that I hadn't thought about going into this either.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me bring up some more points instead of just making fun of everyone. Yeah, they essentially just said, and I know I usually don't like talking about preview stuff before we do our preview, but
I mean, it's inevitable this week because that's what all my stuff is about.
That's the same with me. So Gaethje finds early success if he is conscious or aware of distance between himself and Khabib. They really kind of just did a lot of study on the Gaethje-Ferguson fight as far as kind of distancing himself, not just by leading with the leg kicks from the outside, but just kind of guiding and keeping his hand. Like Gaethje does kind of traditionally have like that kind of like tight guard, but in the Tony fight, he was just kind of more like this, kind of more like measuring. Measuring, whatever. Yeah. They said Khabib really can't afford to like soldier through his shots as far as like trying to power through. So like, say he's obviously getting kicked in his lead leg, is he really just gonna tank these shots and still shoot? I think he will, because he's a fucking madman.
Well, and most of his shots are just to get an underhook.
Yeah. So there's that, and then they talked about Whitaker and Cannonier. They just said if Whitaker becomes uncomfortable in the exchanges on the feet, you're just gonna have to bring Cannonier down with his wrestling, and just kind of punish him from there.
Although that's a dangerous fucking game, though.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember how savvy Cannonier is with the grappling.
Not savvy, but he's a giant motherfucker who is really strong.
He has that really, really tight, like inside clinch uppercut, as well as that.
Well, that's what murdered Jack Hermanson. Yep. Or Hermanson. Hermanson, right? Because it's the son of Herman.
Yeah.
That's how Danish.
And the Scandinavians.
Scandinavian names.
But then again, you can also say that about the English with like Johnson or Williamson.
Yeah, but it's less like 1-to-1. Like over in a lot of those areas, it's like just everybody is the son or like David. Cynthia, is it Cynthia Davis' daughter? Whoever Davis' daughter over in Invicta, who's literally the daughter of Davis.
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway, but I really love this episode from the Fight Site guys. One thing I thought that was really interesting that I didn't hear brought up by anyone else this week is they did mention that Blachowicz caused massive problems for Cannonier just by using a jab hook mix-up, and I didn't hear anybody else. Yeah, and I didn't hear anybody else bring that up, and also Jan Blachowicz much slower hand speed than Robert Whitaker, and Robert Whitaker is really good at working off a jab hook mix up, and it's gonna be really interesting, man. That's one of the fights I've been waffling on pretty hard, and the line still to this point I think suggests that as well. So yeah, super fun episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Speaking of super fun, fights gone by. with your boy, Jack Slack. Episode 237. So they said, interesting how Conor McGregor and Dan Hooker swap spots in the rankings at lightweight.
Yep.
While Leon Scott has been removed from 170. This is a couple days ago. Because as of now, Leon Scott is back up to number 3. Take that as you will.
I mean, take it as you should stop paying attention to the rankings.
Yeah. They said Jack says Khabib vs. Gaethje is interesting because of Gaethje's wrestling prowess and whether he'll be forced to use it. I mean, I think it's inevitable. It's a question of whether is he using it while he's getting fucking thrown against the fence, or is he be able to keep the fight in the center of the octagon, where that's in his advantage over Khabib. I don't care how good Khabib is at wrestling. I don't see him out wrestling Gaethje if it's in the center of the mat. I will say it right now, because that becomes like an actual, like, kind of more freestyle kind of, whose legs kind of stipulate outside and kind of can not crab walk, kind of scramble and really just kind of dictate the angle where it's going to move. And this is why I'm so fucking excited for the fight tomorrow, but I'm also so bummed that I can't really see it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you guys. Chris is the worst deal right now, where he's only going to get to watch the prelims and then going to have to miss most of the main card until later.
I could be honest about my job right now. I could be... But I mean, it's not going well as far as how my initial schedule was. So initially, let's just say if I were to call out, someone couldn't cover it. That's the only way I could put it right now. It's pretty tough. So the only thing I was thinking of doing is maybe just going to work late. But,
but how you have to go so late though? Because I know when
I
you
just
start.
show up at 2. Because then the main events start like at 1:30.
Maybe if you're lucky, dog. If everything doesn't go to
if it's slow, I'll just have it on my phone and just like be looking at the whole time behind the bar.
Yeah, or worst case, take a break when the main event starts or something. Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm gonna take my 10, 15, 30.
Right. Oh shit.
So it is what it is. Let's see. Jack says he really likes Poirier's chances. Oh, he had liked Poirier's chances initially when he had fought Khabib because of his wrestling defense, kind of just at ATT, or how ATT teaches that. But the fact that we saw what Khabib did to him, I rewatched that fight too. I was like, dude, I didn't realize how one-sided that shit was. That was bad.
I mean, man, that shit was not fun to watch. Just because of the way Poirier consistently walked himself straight to the fence over and over again.
Okay, so let me back up. Or am I square to the fence? All right, Khabib, here we go. Let's go.
Pretty much.
Like he said, out in the open, Khabib's wrestling is not special. Against the fence, though, he's unstoppable, literally. This is the man who beats Khabib will beat him in spite of fence work. I mean, it's so. And we'll talk more about this in the preview, but this is a very good matchup stylistically for Justin Gaethje. Granted, he is going up against an unstoppable horse in Khabib. We know that, but
but Justin Gaethje's the immovable object, bro.
Where's the juggernaut, bitch?
I think actually Dan Tom made a great juggernaut reference this week, if I remember right. The fucking racist ass black dude voice that the Juggernaut used to have.
Oh no, but you know what I'm talking about? Remember
the overdub? Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like My Way Studios or whatever. It was like 2006.
Yeah, that whatever fucking overdub that shit was. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think actually Dan.
He's like, I'm the Juggernaut. And I got me a bitch.
Go listen to Protect Your Neck if you want some more Juggernaut references this week, because Dan Tom's got a doozy of one. But yeah, anyway, I forgot how we even got here.
Yeah, Jack is saying Khabib's going to end up in a clinch regardless of his footwork. He was talking about his footwork. How is it? I know he has herky-jerky head movement, but we have to look at his footwork. I mean, I haven't really seen his footwork because he just shoots, and he's already taken someone down by the time he's kind of shuffling around. Can Gaethje land leg kicks so Khabib can't shoot? I mean, that's probably really the biggest question leading to an X factor in the entire fight.
Yep.
Jack also said, fuck any journalist who continues to ask Khabib about his dad.
Yeah. Jack's had one of the best statements on this, which is he really summed up, I think, a lot of people's feelings about it, which is, it's just so lazy. Because, if you really wanted to do hard-hitting journalism and ask hard questions and get views, ask fucking Dana White about Mike Perry. Otherwise, stop fucking asking Khabib every single time you see him about his dad. That shit is number one answered. And number two, just lazy as fuck.
It's just, I think it's almost just,
Well,
Someone
just it's bad. It means you're
just
bad at your job. You're not like you're literally copying other people's homework. It's fucking the worst.
Oh, Ariel asked them first? Alright, I'll just paraphrase and rearrange what Ariel said. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, isn't that just what everybody does every week? Oh, hey Chris, how's your camp going? Oh, how's the weight cut going? Is the weight cut going all right? Oh, what's your favorite thing to eat? When you're after a fight or the night before a fight. Oh, so
how much water did you consume?
Yeah, has the pandemic affected your training?
No, not at all. My gym's been open the entire time because my head coach and my trainers don't give a fuck. They think it's a hoax.
Yeah. Have you heard of Q?
Is it anonymous?
I can't tell you. Good shit. Yeah, Fights Gone By was really solid though.
Yeah, Jack's always good. I haven't listened to him in a while, so it was nice. It was a nice refresher. So,
For show. Here I can jump onto one of mine,
please.
which is the Line Movement UFC 254 or Line Movement MMA UFC 254 betting breakdown, which actually you guys will hear a clip of on the break. This is the show hosted by Dan Tom and Daniel Levy. Every time I try and call him Daniel Levi, and I know it's wrong. I have a panic attack every time I do it.
I think it was Levi, right?
Yeah, it is. That's why that's why I always panic
That's
about
Levi.
it.
Levy is with the Y.
No, but it is pronounced Levy.
Oh.
That's why I fuck it up. That's why I do this every time. His name and poor Fernando Prochaz's name. I fucking have a triple panic attack.
Fernando Prates.
Yeah. Fernanders Prates. That one. Anyway, so Daniel Levy and Dan Tom, god damn it, Chris, had on Eric Nixick, who is of course one of the is he now the head coach at Extreme Couture? He's at least the main coach at Extreme Couture.
Oh, speaking of another Q, Mr. Couture.
Well, man, I have not looked at Eric Nixick's Instagram, but I'm not. Let me just put it this way. I think I just almost assumed everyone at this point in MMA is the worst and is. Anyway, let's see. So no, this is a really good episode though, and again, 100% focus on if you guys are looking for shows that are just about the fights that are coming up, I think almost all of mine are that this week, just because. That was the best content, is the people who are really good at breaking down fights have been thinking about this card, and especially the main and co-main, a whole lot for a very long time. And you can tell, because they've all put in a ton of homework. And this is one of the best breakdowns I've heard this week, just about specific technical things to keep an eye out for. Dan Tom talks a lot or I think it was originally Eric Nixick who mentioned that Gaethje, one of Gaethje's things that he's super underrated about is how well he's able to slip punches in the pocket and then drop in leg kicks after them, and how that is one of the ways he just chews dudes up is every time they collapse that pocket he'll slip punches and then just drop leg kicks when you're all of your weight's on your lead leg. And it was really interesting because I've seen it and I've heard it, but I didn't quite you don't hear it broken down quite that clearly. And another thing that actually Dan Tom brought up and then Eric Nixick followed up on was Gaethje's really, especially in the Tony fight, started going a lot to where he throws that big right hand. He'll slip under and then come back with the left. And so half the time he's throwing the right hand, half the time he's throwing away the right hand to set up the roll in the left hand. And it was really cool to hear them break that down. And actually, Eric Nixick talks about how under the Dwayne Bang Ludwig system, which they all train, that they call that the brow, because that's what TJ finished brow with.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's cool to hear him talk about how that's kind of become a big thing in a lot of their camp, and it's definitely something that everybody's working on. And you see it real clearly. So it's cool to hear them it's those kind of very specific, very technical things that they're bringing up that, I just really enjoyed quite a bit. They also talk a ton about how well Khabib's able to blend his striking because of his level changes, whether Whitaker's going to actually try and wrestle Cannonier and whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. Southpaws, Walt Harris being super rare at heavyweight, which is part of the reason why he's so successful at just catching dudes way out of position. It's because you can probably name that 3 or 4 southpaws at all at heavyweight. I mean, there's not many of them, so that means most of the heavyweights who are fighting are not only not training with southpaws, but they're rarely even ever fighting them, which of course gives Walt Harris that giant advantage. And actually, now that I think about it, since that's an open stance matchup against Volkov, that's going to really affect that jab of Volkov. I mean, Volkov is pretty good with his jab, I think Dan Tom actually, even in this episode, said Volkov's only fought 1 or 2 southpaws ever. So that could really be interesting. But yeah, cool to hear them talking about that. They talk about Ankalaev versus Kutalaba and how wild that shit's going to be. And yeah, just a really good breakdown episode. I highly, highly recommend it.
Nice. I know I initially was going to watch that. I loaded it up, but then I decided to do a power hour of sorts.
Yes. The CME style.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man. Actually, you know what? That actually segues well in from my last one to the Verbal Tap MMA episode 432, which also had Dan Tom on, this time as a guest. Raf is hosting this one, and since Kev, his normal co-host, is out due to getting married, Dan Tom and Keith Christian, I hope I'm not fucking up Keith's last name, both came on, and they talked about, or they basically
is that how it's spelled?
No, Kristian, I believe. He's a 10th planet, I think black belt, but he just recently competed at Submission Underground. Super high level grappler, and
nice.
funny dude too. I really liked this episode. It was a lot of fun. But they basically, so what Raf did is essentially normally Raf and Kev from Verbal Tap. Normally what they'll do is they'll go back and forth on their picks, and they'll just like talk shit to each other, and it's, like they do. But instead, when they have guest episodes, Raf brought Keith and Dan on to talk shit to each other and pick. And Raf was honestly just instigating the entire fucking time. It was really funny. I mean, it was good breakdowns, but it was also just them talking shit. And Dan Tom talking shit is always like the nicest, but also like pretty cutting when he get like he's slick enough to be able to like cut pretty deep, but then also immediately feel bad about it. And I fucks with it. That's part of the reason why I love Dan Tom. But yeah, I just really like their picks overall, and I like the discussion. And then at the end, they did a food bet, Chris, which I'm sure you're going to be pretty fucking hyped about. They did a food bet. I believe Dan Tom has to eat, I think it's 50 McNuggets. Or
hold on, I just kind of want to already go like.
Yeah, it's either 50 McNuggets, or I think or Keith has to, I think, eat 20 Jack in the Box tacos. Is the bet?
Wait. So 50 McNuggets, and this is like obviously in one sitting, or how does that work though? So when someone
yeah. Well, I mean, they're both gonna fail. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying, because dude, you can't eat 20 tacos. I mean, someone can.
I mean, yeah, no. Well, I think he said.
I think 50 McNuggets is more doable than 20 tacos, but
I don't know, man. Those Jack in the Box tacos are pretty fucking crushable. I literally had 2 the other night when I was shit-faced.
Oh, no, I think the most I've had was 8, and I wanted to die. So that's why
Well, no, that's the problem, is anything from Jack in the Box, you're going to start literally feeling like you're dying pretty quickly.
So the only time I had McNuggets last is I had the spicy McNuggets, and they were aight. I mean, it's like, they weren't bad. But then everyone's like, bro, you go to Wendy's? First of all, I don't go to Wendy's. I usually don't have fast food, to answer your question. Secondly, I don't remember the last time I had Wendy's.
I like how Chris is arguing with people on the internet that don't exist about whether or not he eats Wendy's.
Yeah, right.
Really, it's going solid. Oh, shouts out to Phil for dropping in chat. Love that dude.
Cares,
oh
Wendy's
shit!
Owns you.
Yeah, Phil. So Phil just dropped in chat saying he has Khabib late by sub.
I can see that.
Yeah, man. If Khabib's gonna do it, I would say, yeah, probably either late via sub or by decision.
I don't think this goes decision.
I think, it's going to be tough. If it does, Gaethje is going to take a fucking beating. Or one of them is going to take it. They're probably both going to take a beating.
Khabib, because I don't think Khabib... like Habib's chin is obviously insane, and I remember the reason why I kind of harken back to that point is like just remember the Barboza fight, dude. He literally took like a fucking spinning wheel kick to like the neck and jaw, and like this was like,
Well,
that it?
Dude, fucking the goddamn.
And he took some big shots from Connor.
Yeah.
He took like a straight fucking. He took
Michael
like
Johnson took a fucking giant shot from. Fucking Dustin Poirier took a big shot from.
Yeah, so it's like, I know Gaethje's got some unworldly power, kind of like a McGregor, but like I mean,
Yeah, different kind of unworldly power, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so it's
For sure.
I like that call by who did you say dropped in, Phil?
Yeah, Philippe from the French
Philippe.
Phil from the
Thank you.
fight site.
Nice.
Yeah, love that dude. I hope we see more interviews here shortly from Phil too. It's been a little bit since he's been on one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one interview he did with the one boxer.
You mean the kickboxer, Cedric Doumbé, right?
Oh, kickboxer. Excuse me. For some reason, I thought he was a boxer. Or maybe because they mentioned boxing briefly.
Probably. Yeah, because they did talk a lot about boxing in that app. Let's see. Did you have any other catches for this week?
Yeah, let me see.
'Cause I feel like both of us had a super catch heavy week. I don't know if anyone really stood out, but there was a ton of good ones.
No, that's my can't miss. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. I already said the bash. I'll just say regular CME 424. That was a catch.
Yeah, it was really good.
I know they talked about, is Jessica Andrade too small to be a threat to someone like Shevchenko? I mean, in a stand-up fight, from distance, yeah. I mean, if she's going to beat Shevchenko, I think it's going to be her trying to dump her on her head, which, good luck.
Yeah.
I don't think she wins that fight at all. Regardless of how much better she might be than the rest of that flyweight division.
Yeah, it'll be way more competitive than the rest of the division, though. I don't know if there's anybody else I'd rather see her fight.
They also talked about Jonathan Martinez, who defeated Thomas Almeida. He wanted nothing to do with being interviewed after his win over Almeida. I saw part of that fight. I didn't see so was it just him not wanting to talk?
Sorry, what was that? I was reading Phil's shit.
They said Jonathan Martinez wanted nothing to do with being interviewed after his win over Thomas Almeida.
Oh, I honestly, for a lot of these cards, I have been fast forwarding through shit that is not fights.
According to them, it was just Daniel Cormier saying, "Hey man, come on, give us something," and he's just like, meh. You know.
I mean, whatever. Daniel Cormier also does that shit sometimes in Cage, where he weirdly tries to force dudes to do a promo because he likes pro wrestling. You're like, bro, half
Daniel
these
Cormier
dudes
is basically like the pro fighter that's kind of that's like that Ariel kind of lives through.
Oh my god, they are so unbearable on Twitter recently. Just openly swallowing all of The Rock's cock on Twitter. They're like, oh shit, The Rock tweeted Ariel, let's all fuck it. It's so embarrassing, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't care about the fucking the sweaty wrestle boys that everybody else does. But
the only interesting one, really, in reality, was the ones who were alcoholics, like Ric Flair and fucking Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, no, for sure the best part of pro wrestling is all the carny shit. Don't get me wrong, 100%. It's the drugs and the carny shit.
Of The Rock that are cool.
I mean, yeah, sure, until you a couple decades ago. Now he's just an Instagram model who fucking.
Well, yeah, now he's just and he's like, this fucking. 100% American steel, raw sex appeal, bro.
That's right, brother.
Steroids.
Yeah, I'm like the Hulk, except way more fucking boring and barely
my
less.
Cheat days, I eat fucking 20 pancakes.
His fucking cheat day shit.
And 6 French toasts, but they're not your regular French toast.
The only thing worse than his cheat days is having to hear Joe Rogan constantly talk about his cheat days. It's the fucking worst.
It's like, bro, we get it. He's a cardio machine, but have you also seen someone like Michael Phelps, who's not roided out, but he's also very tall and fit? It's because he's tall and he's a fucking swimmer. That's why his calorie intake is fucking 10,000.
Right.
So it's
also that dude smokes fat bowl.
That too, yeah, he's smoking like every day, all day.
Dog, that dude literally. I had buddies who smoked weed with that dude up in L.A. Shouts out to. Actually, I don't know if I don't know if I
Don't
want
say
that
their
out
name.
there.
Just say
Well, no,
shout out.
they're literally like people in the industry in LA.
Oh.
Like they work at like, let's just put it this way. They run around with a lot of weed paraphernalia in public, handing it out. So
There you go.
anyway, let's see.
Yeah, it's so sorry. And then they talked about the Poirier and
Oh,
McGregor
right.
shenanigans. This coming event.
Yep.
They said we need a 165-pound division. No shit. This is obviously before the fight news today of Leon Scott and Shimaev. They said Shimaev and Chris Weidman is a bad idea for the Chris. They said, is it a bad
I
look
forgot about
when...
the Chris.
Yeah. They said, is it a bad look when fighters knock someone out and then immediately console them like they're watching a Lithuanian sunset? That was a listen to
Yo,
thing.
that Lithuanian sunset line from the right end was so fire.
Yeah, and they're like, why is it? They're like, oh, it's because the knockout the dude was Lithuanian. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
Brian Ortega. I'll be honest, I really want him to lose because I think he's a douche, but he looked great. Good for him, man.
He looked fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, 2 years off, and yeah, he won every round. He just
Well, he
dominated.
changed up so much of his game in that fight. Like, he forced Zombie to constantly lead and then punish him anytime he tried to. Also, like, when the fuck did Brian Ortega have a competent game plan ever in his career?
Yeah.
This is the first time he's won
maybe
rounds
Henry
without
Gracie is the
finishing.
problem.
Oh, I mean, the Gracies in general seem to be problematic recently, but that's a whole
No,
different
I'm
discussion.
actually dead serious. Like, he wasn't in his corner. Maybe, like, he was just kind of being like a yes man to Brian.
Well, no.
Like,
So Brian, if you remember, Brian changed up his entire camp. Like he dropped his entire striking side of his camp and got with new people. So that's probably more to do with it.
Good on him. Have fun
yeah.
fighting Volkanovski. I don't know how that fight goes.
Yeah, I mean, good fucking luck. Also, don't put him right back in a title fight. Jesus fuck. Like I get that. I don't know what else you do with that division, but also, what are we? Like Jesus, you just want to kill dudes at 28?
If I'm matchmaker, I do Calvin Kattar versus Max Holloway, and you fight Brian. Brian fights the loser of that.
The winner?
No, the loser, because I think Calvin
Holloway?
Kattar, I think Max Holloway should be a title eliminator.
Right. I can see that.
Because I think that's mainly because I thought Holloway won the second fight against Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's true. That's the kind of the problem with that division right now is like I don't want to see Brian in a rematch. I want to see Brian in a new matchup before you put him back in against either Max or Volk. I think it doesn't do anything for anybody to see that again right now. And I think honestly it'd be better like if they wanted to build a goddamn star, they would have Brian fight another like I don't know, man. Well, that's the other I was gonna say that's the other problem with Brian is he loses every fucking round up until he finishes people, but not in this performance. I don't know. I would hate to see him immediately put back in a title shot, and then if he loses, he's lost 2 title shots at like 28 or whatever he is, and now what the fuck do you do with him other than move divisions? So
Yeah. And then the last thing they played, James Krause had an interesting quote about Joaquin Buckley, basically saying, all this dude does is talk shit on social media. He's disrespectful and an asshole at my gym. And when he was at my gym, fuck him. I should have quoted this because he basically said, fuck him, he's a piece of shit, I will fuck his life up. He said some like outrageous shit. I was like, oh damn. So that's how I really feel about Buckley, James Krause.
also, I don't think that's actually Buckley on Twitter. Like, I think he's reacting to some fucking troll ass account that just has Buckley's name.
But then that would
At least that's what I heard.
That'd be hilariously ironic.
Well, it'd also be very MMA to be like, oh, well, I saw a name on Twitter, and so obviously it's the person.
Yeah, like that one fake Arrow account, the fake John Jones
Oh,
account.
which one, man? I've had to mute so fucking many. Shouts out to The Insider. I'm not even going to say his fucking first name because he's the worst. That dude. Anyway, but so on to some more great content that came out this week. So I actually have I have 3 more catches, so I'm going to get through them quickly. The MMA Vivisection for UFC 254 it's just so fucking good, man. It's so good. God damn it. I'm here to eat all the sausages. It's only going to make sense if you listen to the prelim episode of that show. But you should, because it's really fucking good. And I'm here for the sausages, god damn it. That's all I'm going to say on that, to be honest. I think that's the best. That's the best way to phrase it. No, but honestly, it's a great breakdown show. It's also super funny, especially the prelim episode. It gets real fun. So I highly recommend that. And then speaking of Conor Rebush, Heavy Hands, episode 339 with Ed Gallo from the Fight Site was so goddamn good. Also, RIP to, as I said on Twitter, the driest of Phils. Phil McKenzie, who was not on the episode this week, so we're all saying RIP, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I put that in my notes. It says RIP Phil, the first thing.
Perfect. It's fucking great. But yeah, this is just a fantastic episode end to end. Like, Ed Gallo is one of my favorite people to listen to talk about wrestling. He just has a really good... He's like all the Fight Side dudes. They're so excellent at making things not only like easy to understand, but then like kind of keying you into things to look for. Like, for example, he talks about Khabib's, what he describes as Khabib's janky dive bomb single leg, or his dive bomb low single, which is, I've never heard it described as that, but that's absolutely, where he just basically fucking face plants into an ankle to get a single leg almost. It's wild as shit. So it's a lot of stuff like that. They talk a lot about Khabib incorporating more folk style meta. They talk a lot about the Formiga fight, which seemed to be, I saw a lot of shows talk about the Formiga fight kind of as an analog to the Gaethje matchup, to the Khabib matchup, mostly because that was the last person that really came out and just tried to straight wrestle the shit out of Gaethje every time they got in trouble. And if we saw those fights at actually, shouts out to Balboa Tap House, like however many fucking half a decade ago that was, when we saw the WSOF fights there. But yeah, those fucking Formiga fights were the best. Or not Formiga, Firmino. God damn it.
Yeah, I was saying,
it's Luis Firmino.
Yeah.
The problem is it auto-corrected his name to Forming, and then I had a panic attack, and I went with Formiga, who is, I believe, a flyweight that was in the US. Jussier Formiga? That's what I was talking about?
He's still around.
Yeah. Definitely was not Jussier Formiga. Definitely was Luis Palmino. I don't know how... I was saying Formino just then. It's Palmino. How did I get to Forming from Palmino? Jesus Christ. I knew it sounded wrong.
There is a Firmino, though. That's the thing. There's a Luis Palmino and Luis Firmino. Both who have fought Justin Gaethje.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe it is the Firmino. See,
no,
now,
I swear to God.
No, it is the Firmino fight. Now, this is why I'm getting so fucked up. Yeah, okay. Jesus Christ.
He fought both of those dudes.
Also, shouts out to... Oh, Jesus Christ, I pulled the chat down. Shouts out to... Oh, God. Who was it in chat that just brought up Hendo? It was Albion Hustler. He brought up that Gaethje's kind of Chuck or Dan Henderson-esque, and actually that was a point that was made on Heavy Hands as well, in a kind of a different way, in that Gaethje is one of those dudes who, when you see him kind of in wrestling exchanges or grappling exchanges with dudes, he just looks dense as fuck. Because you just kind of see guys bounce off of him in a way that... Like, Dan Henderson is always, like, the go-to description of that, right? Where Dan Henderson's always the guy who's, like... Everybody... Joe Rogan a billion
the
times.
Point of, like, dudes with dense bones can knock people out because they have dense bones or can't get knocked out?
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the Dan Hendo Rogan talk that he always has. Like, it's like, bro, it's like putting your hand on a piece of oak.
So it's like, how do you explain Yoel Romero then? That dude's got to be the densest motherfucker in the whole fucking promotion.
Right. Well,
him and Ngannou, clearly.
Well, speaking of... Never mind. I was going to say speaking of touching wood, but we'll move on.
Oh, no, please. Just kidding.
Oh, boy. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Shouts out to Phil in chat, reminding me that it is Firmino, not Formiga. God damn it. Oh man, that sucks.
Without fight.
It's what happens when you try and smoke weed and talk out loud in front of people while drinking beer. We got a whole situation.
At least you got Juicy Formiga right instead of being like Dave Chappelle and say Juicy Smollett or some shit like that.
100%. Oh man, that special was. Wait, no, that was the previous one, right? Not the.
That was the one like 2 specials ago.
Yeah.
Where it was like when that bullshit happened.
Dude, the numbers,
like,
the special that's numbered. I forget the number. It's the amount of seconds. The George Floyd one.
That's the political one.
That
one's
one's
not
so
really comedy.
fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
That one and the recent Doug Stanhope special is fucking, dude. The joke Doug Stanhope does in that special that they literally prevented Netflix from even talking to them about putting it on their platform. Oh man, it's great. Oh. Anyway, okay, we're way off topic. Where the fuck was I? Oh, right. Heavy Hands episode 339 was the fucking best. I mean, I love Ed Gallo talking about wrestling, and I love hearing Connor Rebush talk about wrestling. So obviously, and I like discussions about wrestling, so this was all of my shit. They also talk about the infamous embedded video, which I don't know if you saw this, where Cannoneer mean mugs a child at a school in a cafeteria. Have you seen this?
What embedded was that?
It was the one for the Anderson Silva fight, because there's some kid comes up and is like, "Oh, the best fighter's Anderson Silva." He's like, "No, I'm the best fighter. I'm fighting Anderson Silva." She's like, "Anderson Silva's the best." She's like some fucking little elementary school girl, and he's like, "I'm the best," and and then he looks at the camera and rolls his eyes. You're like, "Whoa, bro! Don't get all aggro with some kid." Oh, that's great.
A little too intense.
Yeah, it's really funny. Also, anytime Heavy Hands gets to talk about the greatest acting performance of our generation, Kutalaba versus Antigolov, I'm always here for it. Yeah.
Or as they call it, Khabib versus Tony, like, light. Because it's so cursed, because it never happens.
Yeah.
Well, did you see, there's a rumor I saw, like, someone in Kutalava's corner tested positive for...
Oh, yeah, his head coach. I'm still convinced that fight's happening. Well, I'm going to refresh the Wikipedia before we do our picks here in a little bit. And,
boy.
Just to make sure. All right, so I have one last catch before we get on to the other stuff. So this one is, because, of course, you can't keep politics out of sports because they are fucking hand in hand. Kareem Zidane sat down on a panel for the Oslo Freedom Forum about Saudi Arabia's sports washing. This was hosted by... I'm going to apologize ahead of time for butchering all of your names. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm a fucking ignorant white dude, and I'm bad at pronouncing things. I'm working on it, but I guarantee I'm going to butcher this. Hosted by Ahmed Gatnash, I believe, and this was Gary Kaparov, Arij Sedan, and Kareem Zidane all sat in. They talk about the history of sports washing. I believe Gary's the one that opens it up, since he's somebody who's been following it for a long time, specifically in regards to Russia and Putin. But he opens up talking about, like, it's been around way before Putin. I mean, back in Hitler in the 36 Olympics is, like, the first example that we've seen of sports washing, which I guess I should clarify. Sports washing is the idea that that countries, especially dictatorships, are going out of their way to try and, like, clean their public image through the use of sports. So kind of just it's basically a giant PR move to get you to not talk about how they're killing or fucking their own people up.
Yep.
And of course, I mean, Hitler.
Surprised China hasn't done it yet.
I mean, they sure do, Chris. You don't remember how their Olympics not that long ago?
Well, I guess I'm talking about now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still do. Shouts out to the UFC champ at 125.
115.
Oh, yeah, I do mean 115. You're right.
It's all upsetting.
Yep. Well, speaking of upsetting, yeah, it's a really interesting episode. So Arij talks about how her brother was basically jailed for saying something on Twitter, and he's still locked up, and basically they disappeared that motherfucker. Like, he's just gone and nobody's giving answers and shit. And meanwhile, literally while that was happening, Saudi figureheads were like going and taking pictures with tech companies in California, like Twitter and shit like that, which is like, it literally is the exact reason. Like, so it's a very clear example of how they're trying to cleanse their public image, but the wider the access, they talk about how the more access that kind of this all gets publicly because of social media, the worse it reflects on them, and then the more kind of insanely like restrictive they get on language and things you can say online. So it's kind of just this vicious cycle that kind of repeats. It was great hearing Kareem on this talk about kind of the rise of sports washing in Saudi Arabia, originally through the PGA. We've seen it a ton through boxing and now MMA. And it's just a really interesting discussion. A lot of talks about, of course, WWE trying to convince their audience. Like, the WWE is one of these perfect examples where they not only go to Saudi Arabia, but they try and during the middle of all these human rights violations and all this, but then they also try and convince their audience that they're being progressive by doing it, by putting a women's event on in that country, which is like the weirdest kind of twisting of logic, but the perfect fucking Vince McMahon white dude logic. And it's just a really interesting discussion, and I think it's important to bring up, especially on a week like this, last week in Abu Dhabi, for Fight Island, who, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've sure noticed that it seems like every week there are more and more Abu Dhabi ads.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I noticed if there's more than usual, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're, everybody's saying you're falling asleep, which is hilarious, because you totally are.
Oh, like, I'm just like...
yeah, just super lean back. Y'all forgot Chris is smoking weed this episode. That's why he's all laid out. Yeah. But no, 100%.
You're like,
yeah.
Chris, how do you have the main event? Like night.
Yeah. Okay, well, Chris is snoring, so I'm guessing he thinks somebody's going to get knocked out. I don't know. 100%. Anyway, just a really good episode and worth checking out. So we will move on. Chris, do you have any? Oh wait, I don't know. Do you have a skip this week? Because I sure don't.
No, I don't.
There were so many good episodes. I didn't bother listening to anything.
I mean, there's a skip just by looking at your name. I'll skip you, but other than that,
I believe. Yo, shouts out to fucking Albion in chat dropping the Garfield reference. I think it is Abu Dhabi where he always said he was gonna ship the cat to. I'm pretty positive.
Okay.
I fucks with Garfield, dude. Have you gone back and fucked with any Garfield stuff? It's way better than you think it is. Except for the PS2 video game. That's real bad.
I haven't ever thought of going back and looking at it, but I'm sure it's great. I just always remember he wants lasagna, and then there's like his owner, what's his name? Not Dave. That's the Chipmunks.
It might be Dave.
Maybe
I think it is Dave.
I think it might be Dave. And then the fucking dog's name. That's always a trivia question. What's the dog's name? No, it's not like Milo or some shit.
I'm sure Albion's got us in chat here in a second. Anyway, we should keep on moving on.
We gotta get going.
Yeah. You don't have a skip, right?
No, I do not.
So why don't you get to your can't miss?
So the good/bad news is we already talked about it.
Oh, really? Which one?
It was Heavy Hands.
Oh, yeah. It was really good, right?
Yeah. That was my can't miss.
Odie! Dog's name's Odie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shouts out to Albion and Phil dropping it in chat. Yo, y'all must not smoke enough weed, because I for sure was never going to remember the name Odie.
I'd say, I don't know what the fuck. I was going to say Otis, maybe. I was like,
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. So, if we already got to your can't miss, did you listen to any new shows this week?
Yeah. So, speaking of new shows, what do I got here? We got Casual Combat MMA. At least I don't remember listening to this because this is only their 9th episode. They quickly recapped the card from last week, which is the Ortega card, and Jessica Andrade on there. They said, what a performance by Brian Ortega. They think he should fight Volkanovski, mostly based on his performance against Zombie. But then they also just kind of recant that statement and say, well, I think if Max can get a title shot again, he deserves it in front of Ortega, just because Ortega was gone for 2 years. And then they talk about the next contenders at 145 being Calvin Kattar and Khabib Nurmagomedov. They kind of they say we want to see Sam Alvey win. They say Kudalov versus Ankalaev or Ankalaev is a cursed fight. Ankalaev is a cursed fight. They're really stoked on Casey Kenny and Nathaniel Wood. They talked about briefly Walt Harris versus Alexander Volkov. They said even though Harris' 13 wins are all first-round finishes, how is his cardio, though? That's what will kind of be tested this fight. They love Cannonier and Whitaker. They love him. They love that he's at MMA Lab. And they also had a friend of theirs named Trace Anglekiss, who apparently trains at the MMA Lab.
Huh.
And he was kind of giving him info what he thinks about Cannonier. Not trying to like ruin his game plan, but just kind of like sparring with him.
Interesting.
Jared's is very intense and powerful.
I mean, yeah, you see anything that dude's thrown ever in his career, and it generally seems to be the way he goes about it.
And the last thing I have is they both are picking Khabib, but they said the main event. I think they said this main event, this card, is the card that they've seen where there's most frequent picks of people going with the underdog in Gaethje. And they said, is that a matter of like you just being, and they didn't say this, is this just like being a Chael Sonnen, and where it's like, well, you're just going to pick the guy that makes you look good if they win? Or is it because, they're going with the odds? Like, well, he's like a 250 underdog.
I think it's probably a bit of that, but it's also a lot of it is, I mean, I think a lot of the people who are leaning towards Gaethje in this are a lot of the people who are like, oh shit, Ali Quinta's the guy who's stepping up on last minute notice. Like, where you're like, oh shit, this is actually like a very competent counter wrestler who is going to make this very interesting. And Gaethje has said everything right in the lead up. Like, if you look everything around Gaethje's game plan, everything he said on Rogan with Trevor Whitman, everything Whitman's saying, they're like, oh, well, we know that if we touch the cage, we're fucked. So we have to stay in the center. We have to be able to circle off.
All I'll say, too, is you also have to realize, who else do you think is one of his main training partners as of recent?
Who Gaethje?
Fucking Kamaru Usman.
Oh, yeah.
People don't realize that, like, he's literally...
True, Kamaru Usman has a way different wrestling style, though.
I know, but there's no way he didn't spar with him. Or
oh,
train with
for
him.
sure.
Yeah. And that's why this fight's going to be fun tomorrow, too. It's really... If you think about it, I think the two style matches for Khabib that are... And I'm not going to call them problematic because we haven't ever really seen Khabib in danger yet, are pretty much Ferguson and Gaethje at this point. I'd say more so Gaethje.
At 155, I mean, I think everybody at the top of 170 is a problem who can wrestle, but...
Yeah. I even, like, honestly, if Colby fought Khabib, I'd probably taking Colby, honestly.
Yeah, I forgot who brought that up this week, but they're like, at 170, Khabib probably doesn't do great.
No.
Like, he'll do great against anybody who's not the top 3 or 4 who can wrestle, Yeah. Like Leon Edwards. Dude, Leon Edwards, how about that? People aren't going to like that statement, but Leon Edwards probably at least makes it interesting against Khabib.
I think
Khabib,
honestly, I think Khabib does beat Leon.
Maybe, but it'll be way more competitive, right?
Yeah, I think he loses to Masvidal, though, and that's mostly because I think Masvidal, if he gauges distance, he fucks him up just on the...
I think Masvidal gets wrestle fucked. Although, it kind of depends. 5-rounder, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's also I don't know what to make of Masvidal. And
we
speaking
always
of
underestimate though Khabib's ability to not get hit and also just have his fucking dumb chin.
Speaking of problematic people, fucking Masvidal on Twitter lately, dude.
Oh no, I know. And,
oh my god,
I saw it.
Oh, anyway, we should keep on moving on. Do you have any other new shows
by the
this
way,
week?
He's actually lost a good amount of fans. It's like
he should have.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
I've heard.
I love having McDonald's with Eric Trump. What?
Oh Jesus Christ! Fucking. Yeah, we should move on. Let's see. I have 2 new shows this week. 1-2 Punch, episode 6. Shaq from formerly of the Pull No Punches podcast with Kajan Johnson. I'm not even going to try and pronounce Shaq's last name because I'm just going to butcher it. We'll call him Shaq M. But he has a new show called 1-2 Punch. This was episode 6, and Fernanda Proches guested. It was a really fun episode, just like kind of a live chat where they talk about last week's card. They talk a bit about the upcoming card. Shaq actually told a great story about a fighter trying to or I think a fighter came out in support of Mike Perry on Twitter, and Shaq was like, "You're a garbage person." And then that fighter's like been saying, if I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up kind of thing. And then Shaq proceeded to make like 1,400 great jokes about how he's gonna get beat up by this dude. So that was a lot of fun. It's just a really lighthearted, fun episode. I think Shaq's a funny guy, and I've always enjoyed Pull No Punches back in the day. And yeah, I really like this one as well. It's also cool that like they're very interactive in chat and stuff. So if you want to like jump in and ask questions and stuff, they're all open for it. And at the end, Shaq asks his guests to flip, or he flips a coin, asks his guest to call it, and whoever loses tells an embarrassing story. But every single time Shaq loses, so he just keeps having to tell embarrassing stories. It's pretty great. It's a lot of fun. So definitely recommend 1-2 Punch episode 6.
Nice, that does sound funny.
Yeah, and you remember Pull No Punches from back in the day, right?
Yeah, no, I 100% remember that.
Yeah, he's a good interviewer.
It's just been a while.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think in that episode he also shouted out Nick Baldwin, who I haven't heard on a podcast in fucking forever either. Shouts out the old MMA Circus podcast back in the day that Nick was doing from his bedroom in high school, I'm pretty sure. So shouts out to that. Let's see, MMA On Point. There was also is the other news show I listened to, or the MMA On Point live chat, I should specify. And this was for the UFC 254 preview. This show is hosted by Tom Ransom and Jason Hartley. Evidently, it was Tom's birthday, so I think Tom was getting a little buzzed, but I'm with it. Hey, you're not going to hear this show complain about you drinking on air. I'll tell you that much, right, Chris?
Yeah, no. Don't hear it from us.
You guys, I just remember Chris is drinking 11% beer. That's also why he's partially fucked up right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little close to night.
Yeah, we might have to get you some.
Not gonna be one of those though.
Yeah, we might have to get you some coffee on the break here coming up.
Might have to do that.
Let's see. So the main stuff is they have a segment that they tried out called Kumite Crunch, where they do basically 1-minute speed answers on a bunch of topics. Like, is Ring Rust real? Is the UFC 254 going to be the biggest pay-per-view of the year? That kind of stuff. Who do you have in the co-main? That kind of thing. They also did some listener questions. They previewed the main card. And then they had a new segment called Kaposa's Corner, where they took, basically they're in touch with Grabaka Hitman, Kaposa, a.k.a. Grabaka Hitman on Twitter. And anybody who knows Kaposa knows he has all the MMA everything all the time going on, and so he sent them a bunch of the craziest shit that happened in MMA over the last week, and so they just play a reel of like fucking 15 different finishes that happened throughout the week that are like wild as fuck. Everything from you see spinning knockouts, you see weird fucking subs. One dude got a sub from, you know how you always hear "don't cross your ankles" when you're in back control. One dude got the sub where you actually fucking get the foot locked because they had the crossed ankles and back control, like just weird shit. Oh god, the coach at ATT, Conan Silveira. Conan Silveira's kid got an arm triangle sub and over the weekend, like just all kinds of wild shit. So it was really cool. Also, I should mention, Kaposa is not all. He just sends them all these clips and then they run it. But yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I'm definitely interested to hear more of their stuff. And of course, at MMA On Point, they just Ant Walker's over there, and then now they have Kaposa helping them do content as well. They are definitely stepping up their game. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Fuck yeah! Albion dropping the Lawrence Kenshin reference in the chat. I love Lawrence Kenshin's shit from what I've seen. I should pay attention to more of it. But yeah, that's like a classic Jack Slack reference too. I feel like Jack Slack, that's like one of his go-to references. Yeah, exactly. He's mentioning that MMA On Point guys showed some cool videos of upcoming MMA fighters. They actually have really cool countdowns. If you guys are at all into like countdown videos, like top 10s, that kind of shit, MMA On Point do probably some of the best of that stuff by far. So Definitely worth checking out. Let's see. Chris, you have any honorable mentions this week? I only have a couple.
Yeah, just the one. I'd say Believe You Me 265.
Yeah, I actually wrote a little bit about that down. Bisping has been on
Yeah.
rare form lately. That dude's so funny.
This one was good. They talked about pretty much what everyone else is discussing as far as the game plan. You know, can Gaethje kind of keep Khabib in the center of the octagon? You know, stay off the fence, that kind of thing. They said the real reason they're choosing Gaethje is because the underdog, the odds. They're like, do you realize Gaethje's a 3-time state champion? That's incredible. As far as high school wrestling.
Yeah. Arizona, too.
Still,
It's not like
and
a
then,
fuckboy
and then
state.
also, him being a 2-time NCAA.
You know what? Now that I think about it, fuckboy is probably a bad phrase, right? Like, there's probably bad connotations to the phrase fuckboy now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone says it anymore, actually. I think in 2020, no one calls someone a fuckboy. Yeah, I think it's because they realize, wait, that's just not...
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it until I said it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they asked Michael, they're like, oh, who was your toughest wrestling match or just wrestler that kind of always got the better views? Like, Matt Hamill.
Oh, wow,
their
yeah.
Ultimate Fighter.
Dude, Matt Hamill did that to a lot of fucking people.
Yeah. And and then they also discussed they love Gaethje's upbringing with his parents, basically both working tirelessly, and him going to Abu Dhabi is like his first real vacation. It's like, I believe it.
Well, dude, people don't realize some of the small Arizona mining towns are like, they're fucking ghost towns nowadays. Like Bisbee, Arizona, where Doug Stanhope lives, that used to be a giant mining town. And then all of a sudden the mine went dry, and then now it's just a bunch of retired hippies and people on government checks. Like, that's the entire... And then Doug Stanhope and his fucking gang of weirdos doing drugs in the desert. So, it's those mining towns, man. People don't understand. Like, that is some...
And then
Arizona's different.
Michael also attempts to describe what he thinks Dagestan is like. But if I'm correct, he mistakenly thinks of it as being Kazakhstan, where Borat's from.
Right.
And describes Borat and mountain goats. It's pretty great.
That checks
I don't know
out.
if that was like a plug for the new Borat movie that just came out today. So.
Dude, I've heard... I heard that there's some shit in that movie.
Well,
I mean, apart from...
Giuliani,
I mean, to be fair, he's been fucking people for so long. I'm surprised no one's caught it on film earlier.
Well, I'm surprised his dick works at this point. But either way...
Well, that damn. Well, to be fair, no promises that it does.
Yeah, I remember they did him pretty good on South Park.
Yeah. I mean, he's done him pretty good over a number of times.
I mean, he does it to himself. And even, like, to the point his own daughter was like, yeah, everyone vote for Joe Biden.
Well, it's great that the two least liked people in New York City, especially in New York City, are two good friends who are making terrible decisions. Anyway, we'll keep on moving on. So my honorable mentions this week, I have a couple. Extra Rounds is fucking awesome. Extra Rounds, episode 29. This is the show that TJ DeSantis does, where I believe it's technically on, I think it's on Fight Pass, but I know it's on the UFC Facebook page, which is weird. Or maybe it's the UFC Fight Pass Facebook page. Link in the description, as always, for all this stuff. But episode 29, it's a lot of fun. It literally opens with TJ DeSantis and Ray Longo sitting there watching the Keith Hackney-Joson fight, where Keith Hackney just punches Joson in the balls like 14 times, and then gets a sub by cranking on his neck and pulling his ass out. Like, it's the craziest shit. I always forget about the end of that. I remember the Joson ball punching because that's just the greatest karma that's ever lived. But I forget about the sub every time. But yeah, it's really fun. They talk about Ray watching UFC 1 live. They talk about Ortega's win. Forrest Griffin calls in. It's really good. Tingra Dome, episode 4. Really fun episode. This one's much more fight focused, mainly around Lopez versus Loma. And you hear him talk about all the terrible announcing that was on that.
So did you watch that?
Dude, what a fucking performance, right?
I'll say this.
Holy shit.
Absolutely fantastic performance of Teofimo Lopez.
But also,
I scored it 7 rounds to 5 in favor, so 115, 113.
I heard about that.
All I'll say is,
maybe
as a
7-5-8-4
boxing fan, selfishly, I really wish Loma had kind of showed up in the first couple rounds Not saying that would have made him a deciding factor, him winning. Do I think Loma can win the fight? I honestly do. I think he's that much more technical, and he kind of showed that in the last 5 rounds. But Teofimo Lopez knew how to negate that that kind of snap counter jab that Loma goes with by going inside. But you know how Loma would duck under and kind of go with and feint and kind of go with the right? Lopez would meet him with an uppercut, and he kept doing that every time, and that's why his whole game plan was snap jab, and then go immediately to the uppercut.
Well, that and corralling with that.
Smaller, faster fighter.
When he did a good.
Again, is he really faster? Because Lopez showed how fucking fast he is with that jab. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, he did a good job corralling too with the hook.
Yeah.
To keep him in front. Like that was I forget whose breakdown of that it was. Actually, you know what? It might. It literally, as you're saying that, this Tingradome episode. He literally talks about how he uses the hook to keep Loma in front of him and the uppercut to prevent level changes, which was that's beautiful. Hey, look at Phil dropping back in. Oh, hey, we also recommend. I don't know if we actually said that on air last week. I think we did. We talked about Phil's New York State of Mind article on Lopez.
Yep.
Because I know you and I both actually read that ahead of the fight, and that's what got me so hyped for it. So yeah, big shouts out to Phil in chat, because he not only did he pick Lopez, but he fucking nailed a lot of the way that fight went down, which was that's a great article. Either way.
And I know logically in boxing you'd be like, okay, do the rematch, but I don't blame Lopez if he wants to go up to 140 and who's the fight? Not Devin Haney or no 140.
Don't ask me about boxing stuff. Phil, I'm sure, will drop in chat and answer your question. But I'm so fucking bad with MMA names. Don't even try and get me started on boxing names. 100%. But either way, though, yeah, no, that fight was fucking wild, dude.
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, selfishly though, I wish it was like the last 6 rounds for the first 6 rounds too. But it's boxing, man. You got to feel each other out. It's a fucking chess match, especially those 2 high-level fighters too.
And also, I think. Reasonably, you got to figure Loma thought that he was going to slow down, right?
Yeah.
Just by just throwing that much output, that dude's speed is so wild.
I mean, both of them.
Phil in chat says, "Fuck Devin Haney," but yeah, he wants Lopez to go to 140.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I know that piece of shit, Gervonta Davis, who doesn't beat women. He's at one.
Okay, wait, what?
Right. That's the joke.jpg. I think he's at 130/135. I mean, I would hope Lopez would just knock his ass out for everyone, but someone else is going to do that. I don't know who's going to do that. Either way, maybe Lomachenko stays 135, just styles on him. I don't know, because boxing, shit. I'll say this: the next, besides Lopez being the undisputed lightweight champ and moving up in weight, obviously, inevitably, I think the most exciting thing really is Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian cruiserweight champion, who's already moved up to heavyweight. He's going to cause a lot of problems in the heavyweight division because of his speed and power. And
people are really high on. People are really high on Usyk. Actually, shouts out to Phil again in chat, who just mentioned that Chocolatito fought tonight. And he said it was dope as hell.
And Chocolatito was like a fucking 110,
dude,
115.
I love those lightweight classes. Yeah. They're the most fun.
I can't remember the names. It's like I know there's atom weight, but it's like super or light bantamweight, and it's like I get so fucking confused with this how they do it in mixed martial arts compared to boxing nowadays. All I remember is that the lightest weight class in boxing, I believe, is 107 pounds, which is still bananas. That's like,
dude, I love the light. Well, to be fair.
It is all
Invicta's
like
atomweight divisions. So it's like it's like Invicta's atomweight division basically, right?
And that's why, like, when people bring up who's the GOAT of boxing in general, you can make a very good argument for Manny Pacquiao. He won a championship at 108, 115, and 125, and 135.
There's
and
a super.
And he won 8 different weight. Like, I'm just like, you kind of are the GOAT. Like,
he also looks like a completely different person earlier in his career.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though. As far as like if you measure your boxing career, Manny Pacquiao is kind of the greatest boxer ever as far as like his winning legacy.
Oh, but by the way, Phil's out here dropping knowledge on you. It's technically 108 is the lightest weight class.
Okay, I said
casual.
107, but I guess that's fine.
Well, yeah, you're just a filthy casual, is what we're saying.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, clearly.
All right. Well, I guess we'll
At
keep
least
on.
I didn't say like, oh, I said like 90 pounds.
Yeah, they've been. I think in the 90s they made it in the 90s. Oh wait, oh, Jesus, Albion dropping a Charlie Z reference in the fucking chat. How dare you, sir? Jesus Christ, I haven't heard Charlie Z's name in a while. Oh, that's bad times. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tingerdome was really great. It was a great episode. I love that dude. He's awesome, and you should listen to his stuff. Speaking of fight site dudes, come on now. Episode 164 was really solid. Trent Reinsmith talks about the former fighter that was praising people beheading a French teacher, which great look for MMA as usual. He talks about how the UFC seems to be intentionally wording the promotion of this card vaguely. Like they keep saying Khabib's a 28-0 champion and Gaethje has a 100% finish rate, both of which are true. But there's like hella asterisks on both of those where you can't say 28-0 champion. You have to say he's a champion who is 28-0 because he's not defended the belt 28 times.
Yeah.
And you can't say Gaethje has a 100% finish rate unless you say in the UFC in fights where he didn't get finished. So it's like that kind of like just lazy, easy marketing they do. Let's see. Yeah, just a good one overall. And the other point he makes is just really good, which is like, what? There's no reason to oversell the Gaethje Khabib fight. It's already a great fight. Why the fuck are you overselling it? Severe May episode 284 was really solid. Philip O'Connor guested. Yeah, just interesting discussions around like what the effects of COVID on sports will be, both on like the future of it, on like the presentation side, but also on the training side for athletes and the time that they've lost. And then Gaethje looking jacked in the Poirier fight, and Shawnee then solo recaps the last week's fight card. Care Don't Care, UFC Fight Island 6 recap was really solid. Eugene the Widow Robinson had some fucking really... Him and John Nash on that show are really getting hilarious. And they're just talking shit the entire time. It's a lot of fun. Protecting Neck episode 254 was really solid. Dan Tom, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, that I'm not going to bring back up. If you want to hear some fucking jokes that are real funny, go listen to that. And then The Outsiders, Nurmagomedov versus Gaethje. It's good to see Josh Gross and Jeff Sherwood back at it, especially talking about a big MMA event like UFC 254. And yeah, it's cool. Also, evidently, TJ DeSantis is going to be the person marrying Jeff in April to his wife, which, man, that is some fucking... That is going to be an MMA-ass wedding. I believe he also said he invited Tank Abbott and Bruce Buffer. So, that is fucking... It's beautiful. It's real beautiful. All right, on that note, Chris, you got anything before we get to this break and then we break down this motherfucking card?
I'm ready to break this card down. I'm way too excited, honestly.
Me too. I'm super stoked. And I actually did tape study this week, you guys. I'm not just going to sit here and... Well, I am going to sit here and drink heavy. But I'm not just going to sit here and drink heavy and pick whose record I like better because they didn't fight fucking cans on a regional circuit. Well, to be fair, there's not that much of that this week in comparison to the last couple. So we'll be right back after you guys hear this clip of Line Movement MMA's betting breakdown with Dan Tom, Daniel Levi, and Eric Nixick, and man, it's really good. It's a long clip, so I hope they don't get mad at me for playing a long clip, but it's really good.
And this break is also unofficially brought to you by coffee, because I need some coffee right now.
Yeah,
so.
Don't worry, we're gonna get some caffeine in Chris so he can get to this second segment. So we'll be right back, yeah.
Liked by the sound of violence.
I feel like in MMA, I've been waiting for guys to roll under their crosses for years. Now, all of a sudden, not only are guys doing it, but they're stepping through and attaching that left, that left overhand left hook. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Eric. Gaethje does that really well. He did it a lot in the Ferguson fight. And with the success Southpaws have had, or even orthodox fighters like Al Iaquinta throwing that combo, I think that is definitely one of the combos to watch out for. As well as, speaking of things Al Iaquinta did well, I love that, Gaethje, his left hook is definitely is more underrated, and I dare say more dangerous punch. I love it because he does things that he throws away the right hand and then throws it, which is beautiful. However, when he does lead with that right hand, he does it off of that inside carry. And I feel like Khabib's confidence in his jab and the way he brings it low, he's just asking for that shot. We saw Al Iaquinta hit it with him. Granted, it wasn't until the 4th round. I don't know how much stung Al had at that point. But I do wonder what Gaethje, who has those on like a Korean zombie hair trigger, he'll throw them hard early. I think those are kind of the 2 shots for me where I feel like Khabib's going to be most culpable.
Yeah, that combo you're talking about, or that technique that we call the brow in the Dwayne Ludwig system.
Nice.
Obviously, T.J. Dillashaw knocked out Hendon Brow with it, hence why we call it the brow. What we do is we set it up off of our right cross, and what you do is after your right cross, you step lead foot, your rear foot to lead foot, basically, and it turns into a left overhand. But what you're doing is you're calculating the guy to throw his check hook and baiting the fact that he's probably got his right hand down, right? And we see that in a lot of flaws in technique when guys throw their check hook, their right hand's in their pocket. So we call that a barrel.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Okay, things are starting to go pretty poorly here for Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Things were going so well just a few minutes ago, and now
only 20 seconds left in the round. Can he make it? Oh no.
Yeah, that's going to be the end there. Big John. So Justin Gaethje trying to do the backflip. He falls down off the top of the cage, and he tried to do it again. He couldn't get up there.
2 failed attempts. He kind of gives a little hug to the security guy. Get out of the way, security guy. He will not be denied on that cage backflip.
No, he wanted that. He wanted that bad. Third time's a charm for Justin Gaethje on the backflip. Doing the money sign.
Yeah. All these guys in suits trying to talk to Justin Gaethje, and he's just like, whatever, bro.
Liked by the sound of violence.
I feel like in MMA, I've been waiting for guys to roll under their crosses for years. Now, all of a sudden, not only are guys doing it, but they're stepping through and attaching that left, that left overhand left hook. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Eric. Gaethje does that really well. He did it a lot in the Ferguson fight. And with the success Southpaws have had, or even orthodox fighters like Ally Quinta throwing that combo, I think that is definitely one of the combos to watch out for. As well as, speaking of things Ally Quinta did well, I love that, Gaethje, his left hook is definitely is more underrated, and I dare say more dangerous punch. I love it because he does things that he throws away the right hand and then throws it, which is beautiful. However, when he does lead with that right hand, he does it off of that inside parry, and I feel like Khabib's confidence in his jab and the way he brings it low, he's just asking for that shot. We saw Ally Quinta hit it with him. Granted, it wasn't until the fourth round. I don't know how much stung Al had at that point. But I do wonder what Gaethje, who has those on like a Korean zombie hair trigger, he'll throw them hard early. I think those are kind of the two shots for me where I feel like Khabib's going to be most culpable.
Yeah, that combo you're talking about, or that technique that we call the brow in the Dwayne Ludwig system.
Nice.
Obviously, TJ Dillashaw knocked out Hindenbrow with it, hence why we call it the brow. What we do is we set it up off of our right cross, and what you do is after your right cross, you step lead foot, your rear foot to lead foot, basically, and it turns into a left overhand. But what you're doing is you're calculating the guy to throw his check hook and baiting the fact that he's probably got his right hand down, right? And we see that in a lot of flaws in technique when guys throw their check hook, their right hand's in their pocket. So we call that a barrel.
Liked by the sound of violence.
Okay, things are starting to go pretty poorly here for Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Things were going so well just a few minutes ago, and now
only 20 seconds left in the round. Can he make it? Oh no.
Yeah, that's going to be the end there. Big John. So Justin Gaethje trying to do the backflip. He falls down off the top of the cage, and he tried to do it again and couldn't get up there.
Two failed attempts. He kind of gives a little hug to the security guy. Get out of the way, security guy. He will not be denied on that cage backflip.
No, he wanted that. He wanted that bad. third time's a charm for Justin Gaethje on the backflip. Doing the money sign.
Yeah. All these guys in suits trying to talk to Justin Gaethje, and he's just like, whatever, bro.
Liked by the sound of violence.
I feel like in MMA, I've been waiting for guys to roll under their crosses for years. Now, all of a sudden, not only are guys doing it, but they're stepping through and attaching that left, that left overhand left hook. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Eric. Gaethje does that really well. He did it a lot in the Ferguson fight. And with the success southpaws have had, or even orthodox fighters like Al Iaquinta throwing that combo, I think that is definitely one of the combos to watch out for. As well as, speaking of things Al Iaquinta did well, I love that, Gaethje, his left hook is definitely is more underrated, and I dare say more dangerous punch. I love it because he does things that he throws away the right hand and then throws it, which is beautiful. However, when he does lead with that right hand, he does it off of that inside parry, and I feel like Khabib's confidence in his jab and the way he brings it low, he's just asking for that shot. We saw Al Iaquinta hit it with him. Granted, it wasn't until the fourth round. I don't know how much stung Al had at that point. But I do wonder what Gaethje, who has those on like a Korean zombie hair trigger, he'll throw them hard early. I think those are kind of the two shots for me where I feel like Khabib's going to be most culpable.
Yeah, that combo you're talking about, or that technique that we call the brow in the Dwayne Ludwig system.
Nice.
Obviously, TJ Dillashaw knocked out Hendon Brow with it, hence why we call it the brow. What we do is we set it up off of our right cross, and what you do is after your right cross, you step lead foot, your rear foot to lead foot, basically, and it turns into a left overhand. But what you're doing is you're calculating the guy to throw his check hook and baiting the fact that he's probably got his right hand down, right? And we see that in a lot of flaws in technique when guys throw their check hook, their right hand's in their pocket. So we call that a barrel.
All right, everyone, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
We are back to preview UFC 254, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje. Holy shit! What a fight! What a main event, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a couple really good fights on this card, but this main event is, I mean, hard to pick a fight that is more anticipated than this one this year, right?
Yeah, I know. One could argue, oh well, it's supposed to be Tony. It's like, yeah.
I'd rather see this matchup. I think it's way more interesting right now.
It's supposed to be Tony 5 times. Yeah.
Well, that too. Although to be fair, we are recording this. I think we are technically how many hours out? We are about 8 hours out from the prelims starting when we're recording this right now.
We're about
because they start at 7 a.m.
About 12 hours and 10 minutes away from the main card.
Yeah, so it'll be hopefully nothing goes wrong. So far, Ion Cutelaba is still on the card. We'll see.
No.
But it should be noted at least. But before we get into these picks and everything, Chris, do you have or you have a new beer, right?
It's a new beer, but it's been on the show before.
I mean, new beer for the segment.
Yes. So I still had about one of these left from like a week ago. It was in the back of the fridge. Apparently, no one besides me was a fan.
Checks out.
Making a return. South Park Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Sons of Angels.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one, right? Because you had a Red Label one and that one, right?
The other one I got in North Park was the sports one.
That's right.
This one I got like 2 weeks ago, and it was a beer that was just literally, it was just a single can in the back of the fridge. I was kind of cleaning out the fridge today. I got groceries. I was like, oh, there's a beer that's literally about 3 or 4 weeks old, but all good. Still good.
Yeah.
Still tastes fine.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks ain't too bad. Speaking of beers with unknown dates, I am drinking a beer called Disposable Heroes.
I like that. Makes you think of Disposable Heroes by Metallica and Master of Puppets.
Well, it's a pale ale, or Northeast style pale ale, which I'm guessing means hazy. And then there's just like cans that are clearly got fucked up and they're laying on the ground. And that are bleeding. So I don't know. But Chris, this is from Track 7 Brewing Company, which is in Sacramento, California. But Chris, here's the question I have for you. On the side, it says very clearly, keep cold, drink fresh. Right there. I don't know if it'll focus on that. My question is, how can you say to drink it fresh when you don't put the fucking date on the can? There's no date on this can, so I don't. It could be fresh.
I'll say one thing. So what's the name of the brewery? Track 7.
Yeah.
I like the name of the beer. If they really wanted to be on brand, not they have to. Track Disposable Heroes from Master of Puppets. I just had to see, is it Track 7 on the album? It's not. It's Track 5. I was like, damn.
Damn, that would have been cool.
Fuck. Yeah, I just had to check.
That is a good. I wouldn't even thought about that.
I just had to think about that.
That's
really
hilarious.
Quickly. Okay. But yeah. Either way, I just had to see if they. No,
that's hilarious. Yeah. No. So this is actually really good. It doesn't. It seems like a West Coast version of an East Coast pale ale.
Okay.
Right. Like I would say actually. Okay, so now that I'm realizing this is like an old school Northeast pale ale, like man, it's very definitely on the appley side of things. It's pretty hazy,
dry, like a green apple.
No, like like the East Coast hazy appley juice, apple juicy kind of thing.
Okay.
But it definitely has like a decent amount of bitterness on the back end, which you normally don't see. Well, you do out of West Coast breweries, right? Because they like to balance it a little bit more with the bitter. I don't know that I would call it necessarily like I get the style they're going for, but it's definitely a West Coast version of that style, right? It's not bad. I don't know that it's my favorite, but it's not bad by any means. Like it tastes clean. It's not like you don't get that. You know how with some hazy beers you get that like oatmeal-y, almost like too thick feeling.
Yeah.
Where they just use so much fucking oats in it that it just becomes like a fucking milkshake almost. This doesn't have any of that. Or like almost like a wheatgrassy kind of weird thickness to it. Doesn't have any of that, but it's definitely like very much on the apple juice spectrum. So pretty good.
Okay.
I fucks with
Nice,
it.
that sounds good.
But anyway, not a beer show. Well, almost a beer show, but this week we're a preview show for this segment. So Chris, you want to start us off on this card because it's fucking dope.
So first up, we got a men's lightweight bout. Lightweight bout.
Lightweight
Between Spanish fighter Joel Alvarez.
Nope, not if he's Spanish.
Excuse me?
You don't hard J a Spanish name, do you?
Oh, yeah. You mean Joel?
Yoel, right? Wouldn't it be?
Wait, what?
Wouldn't it be Yoel?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm thinking like Jesus or Jorge. It's not
actually,
Joel.
no, wait. You know what? Spanish does do the hard J sometimes.
No, I
right?
actually don't know. Because it's Spain. Excuse me, proper Spanish,
yeah,
right? The fucking white bastards in Spain.
the Vosotros Spanish.
Yeah. I'm just
Where they got that extra conjugation because they fancy.
It's probably Joel,
Yeah.
to them.
Well,
I'm going to
anyway.
say Joel. Just
I just want to make sure we're very clear on how we're going to fuck up a lot of names on this card because there's a couple of them that
So I'm going to say Joel Alvarez. I know it's wrong or right. I'm probably right.
I wouldn't count on it.
I know, probably not. Going up against Russian fighter Alexander Yakovlev.
Yeah.
Thunder of the North. That's a cool nickname.
That is a dumb nickname.
But so is El Fenomeno. The phenomenon. He's the phenomenon. The phenom. Clearly.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. He's the phenomenon. Last time we saw Joel Alvarez, he guillotine choked out Joe Duffy last July 18th of this year. I don't believe he's ranked. No, this is lightweight. Who am I kidding? Fuck no. We would know who he is. No disrespect. Maybe we might know who you are in about a month. We'll see. Alexander Yakovlev.
I mean, he got a dope win over Joe Duffy.
I mean, that's a pretty dope win.
Well, his performance too. But anyway,
Yakovlev lost to Roosevelt Roberts November of 2019. Okay,
yeah,
so it's been a while.
Scrappy ass fight.
Don't really know who to lean. I imagine the Russian guy is a grappler. Oh, wow, he fought Kamaru Usman. So this guy's been flip-flopping between lightweight and welterweight.
Yep.
Oh, dude, he's 6'3". Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a real big boy.
But so is the Spanish guy. These are big motherfuckers.
They're both huge for the division. Because Joe Duffy is already big.
What are you doing in lightweight?
I mean, to be fair, that's the new lightweight. A lot of those motherfuckers are that thin.
Hey, just look at it though. Do you see you see the photo for Yakovlev? That does not look like 6'3", but that's just an illusion, right?
Well, he's sent. Okay.
Do you see the way the photo?
Depends on how tall that scale is, dog.
Yeah, but you see, that guy looks like he'd be like 5'8".
Or it looks like he's 8'9", depending on how tall that scale is.
Scale is okay. Good point.
Shouts out to the typology picture for Yakovlev.
Jesus. Fuck, I don't know who to go with. I think I'm gonna lean towards the Russian guy.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards the Russian guy. I'm a good decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same way. I'm not super confident about it, mostly because I think if Yakovlev has a chance to gas about 7 minutes in, I don't know. Alvarez is orthodox. It seems like he worked that super smart low kick game against Joe Duffy. Almost said Todd Duffy. Very different person.
What do you mean?
Oh, I mean the guy that was allegedly fighting Sam Alvey this week. If you pay attention to Wikipedia,
like person, you go, "Oh, you talking about Joe? You talking about Todd Duffy, the heavyweight? Never met him."
100, dog. Fucking no, but he worked that super smart low kick heavy game against Joe Duffy, following Joe Duffy's fight against Marty Casey.
You're about to shatter my universe saying he worked Super Smash Brothers in his game plan. I was like, what?
No, he worked a super smart low kick game. So yeah, the only thing I'm a little bit worried about, Yakovlev is southpaw. I think most of this is going to come down to whether or not Yakovlev gets top control and scrambles, and how much wrestling there is early on. Because if there's a lot of wrestling early on, or a lot of wild exchanges early on, I think Yakovlev has a good chance to gas and lose by decision. But if he can end up on top in scrambles, and especially work the southpaw double attack with the left hand and the body kick, I think that will probably lead to enough of an advantage where he wins the first two before dropping the third round. So I'm going to lean Yakovlev by decision, but I'm not super confident.
And the odds brought to you by Sheamus for this fight. We have Yakovlev at a plus 145 to a minus 175 in favor of Joel Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Joel Alvarez looked real good in the Joe Duffy fight, and Joe Duffy's a name, so. And especially since Yakovlev's coming off a loss against Roosevelt Roberts, who is people are just starting to be aware of. That sounds about right to me. Who'd you have again for that?
I had the Russian dude, Yakovlev, by decision.
Okay, cool.
This next affair is a women's flyweight bout between Georgian fighter Liana, is it Yoyua or Jojua? Jojua. Okay, almost had that.
No, it's pretty close.
Cool nickname. Versus an American fighter, Miranda Maverick.
Hell yeah.
That's a fucking sick-ass last name if that's a real last name.
Well, and her nickname, Miranda Fear the Maverick, is not bad. If you're going to have the last name Maverick, it's not the worst. Hey, I'm just glad she didn't use some...
Did someone ask you, where's Goose or how's Goose?
Oh, well, no, that's just because we live in San Diego. So, of course they do.
But still, though, dude, Top Gun...
I know, bro, but mostly just because you enjoy dudes playing volleyball on the beach, you know?
I'm like this. You got me.
Oh, fucking dude.
Actually, remember the song playing that hanging
with the boys. You mean Cody Garbrandt's favorite song? 100%, dog.
They knew what they were doing.
You know
and it makes it so much better. Holy shit.
Oh, my God. Also, dude, I will say, though, the wings at Kansas City Barbecue are actually... They're not good. But they're better than they have any right to be.
You're talking about KC Barbecue, like downtown, right?
Yeah, the Top Gun barbecue
Dude,
place.
I've actually never been there.
I honestly went for, I think, the second time in my life, like a year or two ago, right before, or it was, 2 years.
Real quick,
last year.
I know we're getting off topic.
Oh,
so
yeah,
as far as barbecue goes, real quick, I know there's Tennessee, there's the Carolinas for like the pulled pork, right?
You got
as
your
far
Memphis,
as,
you got your Texas, you got...
Yeah, brisket is Texas. As far as bayback ribs, it's basically between Kansas City and Tennessee, right?
Kansas City, Tennessee, and I wonder if Missouri is.
Well, I mean, that's Kansas City.
No.
Yes.
There's 2 different Kansas Cities.
No, but I imagine the Kansas City that barbecues from is the one in Missouri, right?
I think both of them do it. I think both Kansas Cities do.
Good for both Kansas Cities.
Shout out to which I think the Missouri one is the Invicta one.
Because I know St. Louis, also in Missouri, obviously.
Oh,
has their own version of ribs.
Yeah.
Why you...
Yo, is it because I'm fat that you asked me about barbecue, dog? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, it's more like that. You said, I'm talking about barbecue because
I did start talking about barbecue. Well, to be fair, don't get barbecue at that place. There's way better downtown places to get barbecue. But if you want some bad wings and to get a cool postcard for like $11 at that place, and go in the middle of the day and get yourself some Bud Lights and fucking have a time. Although maybe not nowadays, because you're probably gonna get the Rona there for sure.
Well, all I'll say is there was an event at my brewery just yesterday with over 130 people.
Oh, that's too many people. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's the landlord's fault, is what I'll say. And if I get the Rona, it's because of that. So I'll keep you updated.
Remind me not to hang out with you the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Hey, you want to watch the fight tomorrow?
No! Sure don't. Just like I don't want to go to fucking...
I won't be there, though.
Just like I don't want to go to PB Cantina and get 2-for-1 cocktails to watch the fights either, lady who I follow on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, someone called my brewery, like, you guys showing the fight? I'm like, no, because we don't have a pay-per-view license. It's like, by the way, even if I was showing the fight, it'd be in the other room where no one could watch, because then I'll just open the door and be like, oh, yeah, there we go, you know?
Right.
Like, no, and that's literally what I'm doing tomorrow at my work.
All right, we are way off topic. We should get back to Miranda Maverick and how she's going to beat the shit out of...
Liana Jojua.
Yeah.
Liana, this is her second UFC fight.
Yep.
First time we saw her was July 15th earlier this year. She defeated Diana Belbita.
I think it's Belbita, but yeah.
Belbita. I don't know how to pronounce that. The armbar. Impressive. And Miranda Maverick He's on a nice little win streak.
Dude, Miranda Maverick.
Pro Gonzalez, that's impressive.
Yo, well, that win streak, three of her 4 last fights were all in the same night. It was the Invicta Phoenix Rising series where she beat Victoria Leonardo in the opening round. These are all 1-round fights. She got a sub over Shanna Young in the second round, and then she got the RNC on Deanna Bennett in the third round. And that's actually getting revenge for her loss against Deanna Bennett back in 2019. She's been on a nasty run, and then she got the super impressive win over Pro Gonzalez in a real ass way. Pro was looking good in the beginning parts of that fight, but eventually she was just able to start putting a wild pace on her. And yeah, man, Miranda Maverick's somebody to keep an eye on. Her wrestling game is dope as fuck, and I think it's gonna be a giant problem in this fight.
Nice, yeah. I don't really know who to choose. I think I'm gonna go Maverick. Isn't she like the? Well, let me not spoil the odds, but someone on Reddit.
I would assume she's a pretty big favorite, like probably in the 200 range.
Oh, okay, this is where. Yep. Yeah.
She in the 200 range or more?
More.
How much more? Like not 4.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you now. She's a -400 to +300.
Wow, that's too much. I would have said like 280 or so, probably. Like 250 to 280. That's way too big, probably. But to be fair, though, Miranda Maverick has real good cardio. She has a real tough style matchup to where she moves well from distance. She has a good outside kicking game. She can switch stances. And then if she'll eventually wear you down, get on top of you, and get the back. Like she very much has a Jillian Robertson kind of style of grappling, but with way less driven towards that, and she's willing to play on the outside a little bit more. So I think it'll be a fun fight. But yeah, I think Joshua is probably way over her head, and I think this is probably a.
I think they're pretty much watch all these fights.
And to be fair, as much as like these are not names by any means, there are some dope matchups actually on the prelims. Like these are all pretty fun, man. All these are pretty. This is probably the least competitive of the prelim matchups. Aside from like I don't know, maybe some dumb heavyweight shit. If there's dumb heavyweight shit in the prelims.
So what do you have your method of victory as?
Oh, sorry. I have Miranda Maverick, probably your second round sub to get the RNC.
And
that's mostly just because
all I heard is down in wrestling, so I'm just gonna. I was lazy to say I agree with you, but I'll just go. I'll just say sub. You can't really call third round because it's like that makes me some.
I mean, honestly, she could easily get it in the first. I just think that a lot of it's going to be filling out from the outside and pot shotting until she decides fuck this and just basically probably either gets a trip or gets her up against the cage and then forces her down and gets to the back. She's really good at that shit. This next fight's another fun one, but gonna be sad if you're a fan of one of these fighters.
So you got Korean fighter Daun.
Oh wait, do we have odds? Oh no, we already said. Go ahead.
Yeah. Going up against American fighter Sam Alvey, Spineless Sam Alvey.
That's right.
I'll let you break this down. I know I've seen Daun Young fight. Oh yeah, that's right. Jesus, that was a nice finish.
Yeah, it was really good, dude.
Oh boy, Sam Alvey. I feel like nowadays he's just trying to survive. Holy fuck, he's lost 4 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, I got Daun Young.
Like, got a method on that?
Dude, I think he gets the TKO.
You got a round on it?
We'll go round 3, because Sam Alvey's tough. Fair.
I'm taking similar things. Let me see. Where's my notes? Daun Jung switches stances. He's pretty slick on the outside. He feints a ton. A lot of hand fighting with the lead hand. And then he did a great job. The finish in the Rodriguez, why it was so clean, he keeps pawing with the lead hand, and then he baits the hand fight to get Rodriguez to reach, and then as soon as Rodriguez goes to touch his hand, he slips on the outside, drills him with the right hand down the pipe. It's really, really pretty. And he's really good at a lot of that, based on the footage I watched of him. I got him by TKO in the second. I just think there's a couple things that are going to be huge problems. I think the feints are going to be the biggest problem for Sam Alvey because Sam Alvey does not deal well with feinting ever. His reaction to feinting is to go like this over and over again where he's almost going to throw but then doesn't know what to do. And it's going to immediately gas him. And also just the stance switching and the speed, the hand speed of Dong Jung, I think is going to be a big fucking problem. I mean, can Alvey land a giant counter shot because Dong Jung is feeling real cocky because he's landing so much? Definitely. But I put less and less faith in that every time I see Sam Alvey fight. And at this point, I honestly think probably Dong Jung pot shots him from the outside for a round, eventually starts to pick up the pace and just volumes him until the ref steps in, and then Sam Alvey throws up his hands and gets mad, like usual. So,
let's see.
Yeah.
We got the odds brought to you by Seamus, of course.
that's right. My
got,
boy.
Dong Jung at a minus 350 to a plus 265. Sam Alvey.
I feel like, honestly, that one could probably be wider. I wouldn't play it. Well, what's Dong Jung by finish?
Oh, shit. I pressed the wrong button. Dong Jung by finish. Sorry, let me look this up real quick.
By the way, it's definitely Jung because how do you say Korean zombie's name?
I say
Chan Sung Jung because that's how you say it.
Chan Sung Jung. I thought
Is it Young?
Like I think it's Young.
I think that's not Korean with the YJ. Maybe it is.
I'm probably super wrong.
You might be right. I'm overconfident in this shit, but it's mostly because of drinking shows, so that's not a great way to go about
So
it.
you want Jung by what? I'll just say
Finish. Just inside the distance. Specifically TK or
Okay,
specifically
inside
KO.
the distance, he's a minus 139. TKO, it's a minus 125, minus 140.
Yeah, so you might as well just go inside the distance because, well, I mean, he's not going to sub Sam Alvey, to be fair, but yeah, man, I think that's a very playable line. I think that's a super playable line. Just like a volume TKO, I think is real possible.
Yeah, you can see that. This next fight is between Phillip Rivers, because he has 10 kids. Just kidding.
I mean, to be fair, Phillip Rivers has 10 kids with how many ladies?
Just the one.
Okay,
he's
so
a good
this
old Catholic boy.
Yeah, not quite the Phillip Rivers.
Ironically, he's a quarterback who doesn't believe in protection, but your offensive line, never mind. That's a stupid football joke, right? He's going up against Borat or Triple G. Just kidding.
Fuck it.
I'm not going to say the same Kazakhstan. But you know how every time there's a Kazakhstani fighter, like, oh, are you Triple G or Borat? Well, we could do the unnecessary plug for Borat too, but we have nothing to do with that movie or production.
No, although it seems.
I mean, I
fucking
have
funny
Amazon.
so far.
Well, I don't have Amazon Prime Video. My roommate does, so I'm definitely going to watch it because it's probably hilariously dumb.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
there's some things with Rudy Giuliani. It's like, well,
I'm always impressed with how goddamn vulnerable our politicians are in this country because they are the dumbest motherfuckers, and their PR team is clearly bad at their job. No one knows who the fuck. Not only. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway,
okay, so
back to what we're talking about. Alex Oliveira has 19 kids with 19 women. What's up? And they all live on the same street.
Yeah, and he got chased out of his house.
Oh, wait, no, I forgot. We can't like Alex Oliveira anymore because he was trying to get his kid on the back of his motorcycle while he was drunk and trying to take him from his.
This guy's an asshole.
Yeah, no, he's not great. But then again, if we're doing that for every fighter, I mean, it's a long. Well, yeah.
All right, let's be real. Cowboy Oliveira's a fucking moron. He's on a 2-fight. Max Griffin this March. He's fought twice, okay, and then he defeated Peter Sabata. Venus.
Oh, god damn it. And I forgot, guess who else he fought a couple fights ago?
Yeah.
Other bad people. Anyway.
He lost to that dumbass. Dude.
Yeah, Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Also, Cowboy Oliveira called out Shemaev, which, you know what, Cowboy, in hindsight, it's probably good he didn't get that fight, because I think Shemaev knocks you the fuck out. If you lose and you know what I'm saying?
Actually,
you know
that would be a pretty fun... That is actually who he should be fighting, instead of Leon Edwards.
Here's my reasoning. Like, bro, you're losing the parry? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, but also... Yeah, well... I don't know. I don't know what to make of Cowboy
Mike Perry
Oliveira.
doesn't even have a coach.
Oh, are you kidding, bro? Have you seen Lattori?
No, you mean me? I put in my life savings, bro. I'm cornering him in a couple months.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're the Reddit guy.
No, I'm the non-Reddit guy. I'm the Twitter on the side.
Oh.
I DM'd him. I'm like, hey, bro.
You Mike Perry's other side, bitch?
Yeah, I'm his other side bitch.
I don't feel good about that joke. I feel real bad about it, in fact.
Yeah, I don't have a black eye right now, but I put makeup.
Oh! Jesus, Chris. That is insensitive, inappropriate, sir.
I'm sorry. Fuck.
I mean, to be fair, that was a joke about how Mike Perry is a piece of shit, not about.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
I know, but I want to make that very clear for anybody listening.
Yeah, no,
is that
like in all seriousness, like I'm like whatever.
No, like fuck, we're
did,
100% fuck Mike Perry.
Yeah, no, fuck Mike Perry. Like it's very evident what he did is fucked because there is.
And we've been saying for a long time he's a piece of shit and a bad person.
He's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah. I hope.
I just want to make that very clear for the record, though, since we did
making a foreign taste joke.
No, I know. But Chris, you gotta realize, in these times, you have to clarify that kind of shit, or else
we're doing this, and that's why I do this with you.
Yeah,
because we're both transparent with each other. Because you've said some bad shit where I've also said, "Hold on, this is what I mean," and vice versa.
100%. Anyway, back to the point.
You see someone in the chat like, read.
No, everybody dropped off. Nobody listens to this part of the show, bro. I don't know if you know this.
These guys are fucked.
You and I are the only. Everybody drops off after the first half, and then it's just us delinquents who are still drinking in the second half. I'm pretty sure.
So, who's the Kazakhstani fighter he's fighting? We got Savkat Rakhmonov. He's 12-0. This is his UFC debut. Unfortunately, he had his last couple fights were all canceled. He's supposed to fight Bartosz Fabrinsky, Ramazan Imev. And then, of course...
Boy, you want some help on these names? It's Bartosz Fabinsky, Ramzan Emiev, and Elizu Zaleski dos Santos.
I know that. I know Easy dos Santos.
Yeah. I was just impressed with Fabinsky, how bad you fucked that one.
What's up?
I was just impressed with how bad you fucked up the name Fabinsky.
I thought I said Fabinsky.
Oh, well, then maybe you did.
I fucked up Emiev.
To be fair, I love Fabinsky in the knockoff version of Punch-Out. Oh, he was a really hard boss. So did Fabinsky.
God damn it. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm leaning towards the Kazakhstan fighter. I think Cowboy's been kind of shit. Like, I'm sorry, if you lose to Mike Perry, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, 100%. Also, shouts out to Albion in the chat with a great point. Mike Perry, no good. Steve Perry, legend.
Yes.
100%.
Every time I think of Steve Perry, I just think of fucking basketball.
Oh, wow. That's a weird reference to think of for Steve Perry, but yeah.
You've seen basketball, right?
Of course. I remember Joey Diaz being in it.
Yeah. This is the beginning of the movie where every time he shoots, like, Steve Perry. That's fine.
It's fucking stupid reference, but I love it. All right. We should move on from this fight. But do you have a pick in this, or...
I'm gonna go the Kazakhstani fighter decision.
That would be a great pick, and I would agree with you if I didn't already know that Alex Oliveira blew weight, didn't he?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he blew weight pretty bad.
Because he never makes weight.
Well, and also he blew weight, but also the person weighing people in was no one else had a problem.
That whole thing.
Yeah,
I was brought to you by Sheamus after he blew 8. Cowboy, being that he blew 8. Cowboys plus 100 to a minus 130 of Rakhmonov.
I mean, yeah. I think on paper, I would not pick Oliveira, but Oliveira is great at cheating. They're in Abu Dhabi with basically no commission, and I think he blew weight. So, I'm going to pick the cheater on this one.
So this next fight... really fun at men's bantamweight.
Holy shit! One of the I think
this
heavy.
is like basically, in my opinion, the 2 top prospects at bantamweight. And I know all the Sugar Show fans, all the little Fortniters kids are reeing right now. But sorry, we got Nathaniel Wood from England. His fucking nickname is the Prospect, bro. You're gonna have to change that to get ranked. Anyways, he's going up against American fighter Casey Kenny, who's from Portland, Indiana. Dude, this fight is going to be
so good, dude.
Yeah, and Casey
It's
Kenny
such a cool
trains
style
at
matchup.
the MMA Lab alongside Jared Cannonier,
Well,
Benson
and-
Henderson.
And of course, Nathaniel Wood trains out of. He's basically the disciple of Brad Pickett.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you very much has he has a super similar style. I forget who brought it up this week. I want to say maybe it was Vivisection. No, it was probably, I don't remember off the top of my head, but somebody brought up that he is very much maybe it was Dan Tom on one of the shows, but they brought up that Nathaniel Wood is very much a Brad Pickett style kind of fighter, except he has less of the straight wrestling ability, but way more of the submission ability.
So I just realized, did someone blow weight, or was this an agreed upon?
This was, yeah. So they've been booking a lot of 35 fights at 40, which is cool.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Officially, 140 pounds is a catchweight bout.
Yeah, I would guess.
In boxing, this would also be known as like super lightweight.
Sure.
Because
I like
there's
anytime.
so many weight classes in boxing.
I like anytime you put a super in front of a weight class. That makes it way
how they
more
do.
fun.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of putting light in front of a weight class. You're like, oh, are they the light version? You're
You know
like,
what's
oh, no,
ironic
they're the
about
super version, bro.
Does that make sense? The super light meaning super as in they're extra light? So they're lighter weight? Like, is that an oxymoron?
I mean, it is, but that's also part of why I love it. Plus, super is just a great word.
Yeah. It's like some Dragon Ball shit.
It is literally some Dragon Ball shit. That's correct.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get down to business here. As
Yeah.
they would say.
To release the hunt. Oh, wait, no.
To defeat.
Oh, I said release? That's probably.
Release. Oh, no.
Hashtag
you got
racist.
the China Mall.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right. Casey Kenny is...
Sorry, I didn't mean to ice any Huns. I'm not about that life.
Yeah. Wait, Pulver's clearly doing the best he can.
Oh, boo. Fucking boo that joke. That's a bad joke.
It is. Casey Kenny's 15-2-1. He's had a 2-fight little wins. I don't know if his streak's 3 wins. Whatever. He's won 2 in a row. He one-arm guillotine choked Louis Smolka earlier this year in May.
Which was super impressive because Louis Smolka was on a wild run up until that point.
And after that, he defeated, if I can read that.
Haile Alateng.
Thank you. I was going to say Haley or Hailey. Yeah. Haile Alateng, unanimous decision. His opponent, the Englishman Nathaniel Wood, is 17-4. Nothing to scoff at. Last fight he had was against John Castaneda.
Yep.
He wanted to get a unanimous decision before he got knocked out by John Dodson. That's right.
It was nasty too. He got pummeled.
Yeah.
But that was really the only fight where he's like had that kind of. I mean that fight was always kind of a tough style matchup though too, because John Dodson, if your game is to work top control and work a volume like striking game to work towards takedowns, that shit is bad. That's bad against John Dodson. That's John Dodson's whole game is fucking just circling and then countering as hard as he can in flurries.
Oh, I'll be honest. I'm leaning Casey Kenny because he's been so good. But I think I got Kenny by decision.
Yeah. So I'm going the exact same way, and here's why. The Merab fight.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really, and I've heard a couple of people bring this up this week, and I completely agree. I would not be as confident in Casey Kenny in this if it wasn't for the Merab fight. But the way he was able to, even though he lost that fight, the way he was able to hang in scrambles with Merab, a dude who Merab doesn't shoot like 3 chain takedowns. He shoots like 18 part chain takedowns until you literally just smash his head into the ground and then he has to start over again. And Nathaniel Wood doesn't have that kind of chaining in his game. While I do think he will absolutely win exchanges with Casey Kenny in the wrestling game, I don't think he's going to be able to to keep that pace enough to be able to keep control. I think Casey Kenny is a little too slick to stay in constant wrestling exchanges, and he's going to be able to find separation and then punish mostly with probably kicks, man. His last fight, he fucking destroyed Holly Otang with kicks. I think he landed like 100+ kicks on that dude. It was nasty as shit. Also, Nathaniel Wood, being a boxer, if he starts shutting down takedown attempts and then starts punishing with kicks, like some Justin Gaethje shit, that's gonna be a long night for Nathaniel Wood. The one thing that I will say though is if Nathaniel Wood can get a takedown and get a scramble to where he works to the back, that dude is really good in that transition against the cage from like takedown to you scrambling to get up to taking the neck, and that is something to keep an eye on. But yeah, honestly, I've got going into this one. I think I've got Kenny by decision. Just because Nathaniel Wood's tough as shit. I think they're both going to be in it the entire time. I think there's going to be a ton of fun wrestling scrambles, and grappling scrambles in general. But unless Nathaniel Wood can work his way to the back and get a finish, I think Casey Kenny takes the decision.
I like the call. I got Kenny by decision still. The odds brought to you by Sheamus. We got Kenny at -170 to a +140 of Nathaniel Wood.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
I mean, that sounds almost perfect, that line.
This next fight is, oh boy.
What's Nathaniel Wood by sub? Sorry.
Let me check. No, it's all good. Let me check. Nathaniel Wood, you said by sub?
Yep. Because I bet that line is pretty playable.
Wood.
Because if he's going to win, he's probably going to win by sub.
By T. It's showing submission by round. Hold on.
Or how about what's just Nathaniel Wood inside the distance even?
Wood inside the distance is about a +445.
That's huge, yo. If you
Kenny
want
inside the distance is +310.
Yo, both of those. If you guys want to, if you have a couple bucks you don't want to ever see again, or $20 you never want to see again, as the CME says, that neither of those are the worst play you could do. Shit, put $10 on each one and have maybe a good night, maybe a bad night.
You like my brother, like, bro, I'm gonna bet on the draw.
Yeah, your brother does do that move. Didn't he hit it one time though?
I'll put $1. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, $1 is worth it because if it's +15, you still get basically like what?
Yo, to be fair, there are some fights where a draw is not a bad bet. Like some people who are killers in the like Jan Kutalaba versus Magomed Ankalaev could easily be a fucking draw.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god, I can't wait to get to that. Anyway, we'll keep on moving on. We got one fight left on this prelims, which I think is actually a lot of fun. It's a perfect match. It's perfect matchmaking, right? Like,
I'll let you break this down because I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Well, no, I am too, but also like Stefan Struve versus Tai Tuivasa is perfect matchmaking.
Oh, it is.
They're both on losing streaks. Yep. They're both not losing streaks, but like they're both not. They're at a rough patch in their career, both of them, we'll say. And they are very much diametrically opposed stylistically, right? Like, Stefan Struve, if his best chance in this fight is to catch a sub, 100%. Tai Tuivasa's best chance in this fight is to catch an overhand right or left on Struve's chin, 100%. And really, all we're waiting to see is which happens. Does Tai Tuivasa fall over trying to punch Stefan Struve so hard that he gets subbed, or does Stefan Struve fall over and die when he gets punched? Is kind of where we're at. And honestly, it's great matchmaking for if you're gonna have heavyweights around doing these kinds of fights. Like, this is the fights they should be in. It makes me sad all around. I like both these guys so much. They're both so cool. Hearing them in interviews and shit, like Stefan Struve's one of the first fighters that I used to love hearing his interviews. Still do. He's super smart, and he's like actually that was one of the best interviews I ever heard with Ariel Helwani, or some of the Stefan Struve interviews around his heart problems that he was suffering at the time and stuff back in like 2015 and some of that stuff. Like, that was one of the reasons why we started this show, is actually because interviews like that where I was like, holy shit, this is a great interview. Back when Ariel used to not just be a fucking manager for a pro wrestler.
Sure.
Well, that too. And then Tai Tuivasa, if you guys have ever listened to one episode of the goddamn Halfcast podcast, you know Tai Tuivasa is a goddamn maybe the UFC fighter I want to drink a beer with the most. It's really, really hard to pick another one, right? Like, the only problem is he's going to make you drink a beer out of a shoe, probably. So, yeah, in this, I got to take Tai Tuivasa, right?
That's what I'm going with.
It's knockout first round Tai Tuivasa. Or sub Stefan Struve any round after that. But I gotta take Tai KO first. Probably
I'm going
overhand
the same.
Yeah, overhand right where he steps in when Stefan Struve throws a naked kick or slips a jab and fucking murders him.
I'm gonna give you the odds brought to you by Sheamus. We got.
That's right. Oh boy.
We got Struve at a minus 125 to a minus 105 of Tai Tuivasa.
I get why people are saying that because Struve won a fight recently, but like I don't know. To be fair, it's very much a pick 'em to be fair.
Give you the real odds based on the aggregate. I chose a random one. The real odds. Struve is a plus. Oh no, God, no! Excuse me. He's a minus 105 to a minus 125 of the favorite of Tuivasa.
Okay, right. That sounds
That's
more
the
right.
real odds.
Yeah, that sounds
Excuse me
more.
for the initial shit I read.
No, that sounds more accurate.
Yeah.
So we are on to the main card, Chris. Which how many times have we picked this fight? Well, yeah, because one of them's gonna die halfway into the first round. It just depends on which one.
So
we've picked this fight like 3 times now, right?
I remember the first time they fought. Wasn't it that bullshit with Kutalaba? It's like I was pretending to be fucked up.
Oh, dude, you mean the acting performance of our generation?
Yeah.
Is that what you're describing?
Yeah,
The
he
greatest
clearly won
acting
an
performance
Oscar.
we've ever seen?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Shouts out to Heavy Hands. Still my favorite bit.
Oh boy. This is also the green asshole who would pretend that he's the Hulk.
And then didn't he also pop at one point?
Yeah, which is ironic. He popped for gamma radiation, clearly.
What kind of nerd joke is that, bro?
This is some fucking comic book bullshit.
Meanwhile, Uncle Ive is like, what is comic book?
I am superhero.
You are a Hulk, but I smish.
Yeah, goddamn.
I mean, he's from Goretz, right?
Wait, what?
He's from Goretz, like the team in where the fuck is it from? Some super Russian ass fight team. Oh, Dagestan, right?
Yeah.
So 100%.
Makhachkala, Russia. Where also where Zabit is from, which is like literally right next door to Dagestan.
Yeah, it's like
Makhachkala.
It's the fucking mountains. I mean, young Kujalava's gonna get fucked up again, like the first time. Like
Yeah,
he's
that's what
gonna.
I'm thinking.
I mean, it's gonna be a first round knockout for Ankalaev, or else
I agree.
it's gonna be a second round knockout for Ankalaev, right? Like young Kujalava throws a lot of eats too many punches and then throws a lot of huge, giant, sweeping bullshit.
Oh,
For
yeah,
lack of a better phrase, so yeah. We're both taking Anka.
Yeah, let me give the odds you brought to by Sheamus here real quick because I love this fight.
It's probably gonna be a TKO though, right?
Yeah, we got Kutalaba, the green asshole, at plus 250 to Ankalaev at a minus 325.
I feel like that. I forget who brought it up, but I think that line goes up every time they get matched up.
I think you're right.
This next fight's cool as shit, and people are sleeping on
We
it.
got Barb Konchak.
Oh, god damn it. She's gonna fight you, dude.
We got Barb Konchak. No, we got Lauren Barb Konchak, Lucky Murphy. Going
Such an asshole.
Going up against Uzbekistan's own. Wait, was it Uzbekistan? No. Yes, I was right. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. What a great
nailed
guess.
it, dude. Look at you knowing flags and shit.
Lilia Shakarova. To be fair, never mind. I won't say why. Because, there was a certain game that centers around a lot of the Middle East, and you look at the flag, and it's like, well, that's who you're going to war against. I'm like, why them? Well, ask a certain... Never mind.
Yeah, you didn't watch the debates last night, but it came up.
I'll say this: a lot of Uzbekistanis died in the game I played.
Oh,
okay.
Wow, sounds lovely. I'm guessing it was
and this trend will continue.
Chris, that sounds like a really unfortunate version of. Oh God, I wish I could remember the fucking. That would have been a great joke if I could remember the name of that game.
Is akin to a certain whitefish.
All
right.
I wouldn't do it, but we all know what you're talking about. It's the one where they yell the racist things on the speakers. where everyone in chat is horrible and
no shit. Why do you think PlayStation's monitoring? Come on.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, they're spying on me. It's like, well, if you're worried, it's because you're one of those fucking idiots. So shut the fuck up.
That's right. Hey, play nice games like Cook, Serve, Delicious too. Fuck, Chris. 2 weeks in a row, I forgot to say our
Fall Guys.
2 weeks in a row, I forgot to have us do our fucking well-rounded picks.
By the way, we do. We need to jump on that season 2 of Fall Guys. This was pretty sick.
We do.
Dude, that like, remember you and my brother were playing out, like, we were fucked up.
I was
like,
so fucked up, dude.
Oh,
I was hammered before I even got on.
Or like, this is a great...
Yeah, no, it's the best. It feels...
it's a great game.
It really feels like... It really feels like the old fucking... What's Takashi's Castle renamed over here? Fucking MXC or whatever? The fucking... The most extreme challenge or whatever? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it feels a lot like that. Anyway, we're so off topic. Lauren Murphy is fighting Lilia Shakarova. Who do you got in this?
I think I'm going Lauren Murphy in this one.
Yo, I don't blame you. What method you got on that?
Decision.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not though.
Oh, nice.
Just because having watched a little bit of tape on Lilia, dude, she's kind of a fucking problem. First off, super like pretty clean in out footwork. She does a good job of feinting her way in, and then also kind of having a little bit of that Robert Whittaker kind of karate in out movement, to where a lot of her footwork is moving in to get to you to bite on stuff, so then she can try and either step back out and counter or slip and counter over the top. She also just in general hits some super fucking clean counter double legs in her most recent fight. Her level of competition is nowhere near Lauren Murphy's, which is the one thing that does give me pretty significant pause in picking her. But man, I think that literally her hand speed and foot speed and footwork in general is going to cause massive problems for Lauren Murphy, to where I think Lauren Murphy, a lot of this fight, she's going to get pot shotted, to where Lauren Murphy, she's going to step in, crack Lauren Murphy, step back out of range, and Lauren Murphy's going to be swinging in air and reaching for nothing. Yeah. And to be fair, a lot of this is based on way lower levels of competition. But man, just her, like, the two things that really stood out is, like, she switches stances, which is going to make kind of keeping... not only like cutting the cage more difficult, but also like keeping pressure and pace on somebody a little bit more difficult. But she also lands some really clean like step in, actually pretty straight right hand, like overhand rights. They're like somewhere between a right hand and a straight. They're kind of weird, but she hits them from both hands. Switch stances, she can throw it right or left, and she was crushing this girl with them. And then anytime the girl tried to like crash forward, try and meet that distance, she would just dip in, grab a super deep double leg, and dump her really hard. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be much more competitive than people think. To be fair, though, Lauren Murphy is a fucking vet. I would not at all be surprised to see her gut out the first round and then really put a pace on her. But yeah, man, just based on the shit I've seen, and what I'm most worried about is Lauren Murphy's footwork and hand speed in comparison. I think it could be tough.
Yeah.
Because I think she's going to be reaching a lot.
She can't catch up to either.
Well, I think she's just going to be reaching a lot and missing a lot. So yeah, I'm going to take a Lilia by decision.
So I got Murphy by decision. The odds brought to you by Seamus. You got Murphy at a minus 210 to plus 170 of Lilia. Take that as you will.
It's totally fair. Lilia's fought nowhere near her competition, and this is a total flyer on my part.
So next up, we have a men's middleweight bout between Phil Megatron Haas going up against Australia's Jacob Malkoon.
Another super fun fight.
I'll let you break this down because I'll be honest, I would be lying if I tried to.
So you have not seen Malkoon, however, you have seen Phil Hawes quite a bit. Because I know you've watched some Contender Series fights, so you definitely saw this Julian Marquez fight back in the day. This is the one where
I remember that name, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Exactly. They had a very competitive fight, and then remember Julian Marquez hitting that Darren Elkins style dude is stepping away along the cage, and he hits that step off high kick.
Yep.
And dude face plants. That was Phil Hawes. So Phil Hawes, that was a pretty competitive fight for like a round, and then he gassed so hard, and that's why Julian Marquez was able to get the KO. Since then, he had a run. He had a Bellator win. He had a couple wins in Brave, and then he came back and had the win over Bestayev in Contender Series. However, I can't watch the fucking Contender Series fight because I can't find it on the goddamn internet anywhere. So, dope. Thanks, ESPN. Love you, bro, that I pay for your fucking service. However, Jacob Malkoon, the one thing that stood out to me about Jacob Malkoon is that dude works behind a jab really fucking well. Orthodox fighter, everything he sets up seems to be behind a jab. A lot of front leg kick game, or a lot of his game his kicking game comes off his front leg. Most of the legs every once in a while up high. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a really fun matchup. I think a lot of it comes down to how well Philip Hawes is able to push a pace and work grappling exchanges without gassing. And I think that's gonna be interesting to deal with, especially against somebody like Hawes, or against Malkoon rather, who works a very heavy feint and lead hand like jab heavy game. I think that's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be, can Hawes slip the jab and get inside? Because if you can't, it's gonna be a long fucking night. So overall, I'm probably leaning. I've been going back and forth on this. I'm going to take Hawes just because he's a wrestler. And I feel like if he can work his wrestling game, and especially since Malkoon's Australian, sorry Australians, I think he's going to be able to work his wrestling game. So I'm going to go Hawes via decision. But if he gasses and gets, or starts to panic wrestle and gets fucked up, I would not at all be surprised.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the American fighter as well. Yeah, it comes down to grappling. It's one of those. I'm just gonna agree with you. It's kind of lazy, but
well, I mean, to be fair, again, these dudes you've seen, like one of them once and the other one never. So
yeah. The odds brought to you by Seamus. I'm gonna go with these odds are all over the place. So I
really,
yeah. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, this makes more sense. We got Malkoon at a plus 205 to a minus 250 for Hawes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so they think he's just going to jab him up from the outside and fuck him up. To be fair, I don't necessarily think they're wrong, but also he's fucking 4-0, and he's from Australia, and has not, like, unless he has a wrestling background that I'm just unaware of, which does not seem to be the case from anything I'm seeing. Like, I don't understand, but maybe there's something I don't know. Yeah, that seemed. How big an underdog is Haas? Is it just that line, or is it just that book?
No, Haas is the favorite.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did I mix that up?
He's minus 250 to plus 205.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I mixed that up in my head. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Next up, we got a men's heavyweight bout between Russian fighter Alexander Drago Volkov, 31-8, going up against American fighter Walt the Big Ticket Harris. Volkov is 6'7", Harris 6'5". Not too big discrepancy or difference in height. Reach, Harris 81. Oh, but so is Volkov. They both have very long reach. Volkov lost to Curtis Blades. Last time we saw him in June. He beat a certain asshole, which was great.
Who's right? Whose name does not belong in this show?
Yeah, and
Mike Perry's about to join that same category.
Hey, Chris, can you guess why we haven't heard about this guy in the past almost year?
Coronavirus, or did he catch another fucking felony that we don't know about?
Oh, it's either that or steroids. So.
Oh, hey, there. You know what, Chris? Keep talking. I'm gonna go ahead and go on the USADA website and see how many times it's been tested
go ahead
this
and
year.
please look that for me. And I'm glad actually I just thought of this. Anyways, last time we saw Walt Harris, he unfortunately lost the ground and pound to Alistair Overeem last May. I'm not going to mention the obvious stuff that's happened around Walt Harris. All I'll say is it's very unfortunate, a very tragic thing. I'll get that out of the way. I feel for him. That's very fucked up what happened.
I also wish the UFC wouldn't constantly use that as their promotion.
Yeah.
But that's their only use of promotion. They don't really know how else to do it. So that certain unnamed individual has been tested 4 times this year. Once in Q1.
Okay.
Once in Q3. And twice in Q4. So he's probably going to have a fight soon.
Okay. I just had to bring it up.
Definitely didn't get tested from March to July, though. So that's convenient timing. Because that would have been in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah,
where...
I just had to bring it up because I was curious.
No, we're checking on.
Because have you heard from that asshole?
No, I sure haven't. I haven't even heard his manager talk about him, which.
Oh, those guys. Yeah, great guys.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean great guy. Sorry.
No, they're guys. I mean, they're twins, or are they twins, or they just? I almost used the word that I used earlier, which I'm not sure if it's not nice.
All
or
right.
not.
Who do you have in this fight, Harris or Volkov? I kind of have Volkov via jab of death.
Yeah, I did too. The only thing is,
I got decision. Honestly, it's a 3-round fight. I know it's heavyweight, but I feel like they just.
If Volkov wins, I think it's going to be a decision. I mean, it's possible
I
he gets.
got Volkov by decision as my pick.
Yeah, it's possible he gets a late TKO, but I think if he wins, it's probably by decision. The only thing I'm really not sure about is, I don't know how Volkov's going to be. I don't know how effective his jab is going to be in an open stance matchup, because it's gonna a lot of people's jabs shut down in that kind of matchup. And we've seen Volkov fight I think he fought one dude really early on in his career that was southpaw. Walt Harris, though, I just think he has so much to overcome to make this fight any kind of interesting for him. I mean, I'm imagining he has to leap into a giant shot like Derek Lewis did, basically. Because I just don't have any confidence that he's going to be able to consistently set up shots that will damage Volkov over time and not just get picked apart from range. So, yeah, I'm going to take Volkov via decision also. I don't feel great about it.
And the odds brought to you by Shannis. We got Volkov at a -175 to a +150 of Walt Harris.
I think that's probably right. The only thing is, though, if Volkov doesn't land his jab consistently or find his range early in that fight, that is going to be fucking bad. That shit will go bad very quickly.
This next fight is a good one, for sure.
Dope.
We got a middleweight bout between former champion Robert the Reaper Whittaker, as a lot of us like to call him Bobby Knuckles.
That's right. I'm going to grab beer while you're talking. Keep going.
Going up against American fighter Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier, who was also a former heavyweight, also former light heavyweight. Excuse me, holy shit. A lot of gas bubbles to burp out. Last time we saw Bobby Knuckles, Rob Whittaker, he won a very impressive decision in a close fight against Darren the Gorilla Till last July 25th, of course, this year.
Yo, I just grabbed one of your people's beers as well.
What's up?
I grabbed one of your people's beers.
Oh, nice.
You already know what it is.
I have an idea.
It's the good Italian beer.
Wait. Oh, I thought you were talking about like my burros.
No. It's the good Italian beer.
Fucking, not Peroni, right?
Yeah, dog. Peroni's fire.
Peroni.
I love Peroni.
That's what I thought.
It has like a dope
Peroni
pepper
a lot.
finish.
I thought you
It's
were being
great.
sarcastic.
No, I fucking literally love Peroni. It's my favorite Italian beer. It's
You know what's
great.
funny? I was just at fucking Blarney tonight after I was at.
Oh boy!
Tap
Speaking
House.
of COVID,
Yeah, right.
I'm
Ryan,
not
of course, there was like, bro, like you're like the only one who gets Peroni. I'm like, dude, it's in my blood.
oh shit! Ryan still works there.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't been to that place in so long.
And I'm like, Ryan, have you had Peroni? He's like, kind of. I'm like, try it. He's like, oh yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really good. It's a great Italian lager. Like it's nice
It's a
and
good
light.
light beer.
Dude, it's nice and light. It has a little bit of a
Yeah.
pepper finish. It's fucking delicious with pasta or pizza. Like it's a fucking great. It's a great light lager.
What the fuck they're doing,
Dude,
Why do you think it's like
100%.
the only Italian beer? Because they're like, fuck beer. We like.
It's
wine.
great,
If we're
dude.
gonna make a beer.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it proper.
No, it's
you know?
super crisp. It is a nice dry finish. It's great. I legit like Peroni. I heard about it first from shouts out to Zane Lamprey, who I was actually
I don't
tweeting
know.
Iggy about.
That's a good question. Has a UFC ever been to Italy? Obviously Rome. Yeah, because I don't think so, right?
No, I don't think they wanted to roam if they
you know why
wanted
that's
to.
surprising? Because like, think about the UFC's old style of how they promoted their shit. They could have easily called it like Gladiator, Coliseum. You know what I'm trying to get at?
I mean,
like,
to be fair, all of their fucking intros back. Ho ho ho.
yeah, I mean, obviously it's Corona season, so any sort of in Italy it's already over Corona. Literally, they're all good. So they're like, no.
Well, to be fair, Bellator's done a bunch of shows in Italy, like in Milan and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think the UFC
Yeah.
has.
All right, let's get back to the matter at hand.
Yeah.
Ryan
Back
Whittaker
to the
defeated-
nature at hand.
What did you think of the Whittaker-Till fight?
I mean, it was, you know,
It was. I thought it was close. I scored it for Whittaker for sure.
for sure.
But I know Till did have that knockdown in like the first round.
And it was
that was-
clean and dope. It was a lot like the Chan Sung Jung knockdown, except Whittaker recovered a lot cleaner. Like not like
So-
I'm saying like pace wise to the
I'll
fight.
say this. My brain says Whittaker wins this fight via decision. But down in my plums,
Uh-oh.
I think Jared Cannonier takes this via knockout.
So which way you going?
I'm gonna go Cannonier. Round 2.
Man.
It's gonna be a big knockout.
I mean, if he gets it, it sure as fuck will be.
I do think Whittaker's more skilled
Yeah.
and more like the well-versed martial artist.
Well,
but for some reason, I really think like Cannonier's kind of on that crazy. He has like that crazy fucking like, when I hit you, you kind of die kind of power.
No, that did a stupid power, and he's shown it over and
Yeah.
over again.
Especially when he uppercutted Jack Hermanson.
Oh
I was
my
like,
god.
oh shit.
That is the one thing I am worried about. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm taking Whittaker via decision, but the one thing I'm worried about is if Whittaker comes out and tries to wrestle Cannonier, I think he's
Or if he like blitzes
fucked.
him, like dives his head in, right?
Well, I don't necessarily think he's gonna have trouble with that as long as he sets it up behind a fuckload of leg kicks and a fuckload of like really like basically leg kicks, a bunch of kicks from range where like I forget who it was that pointed it out this week. I want to say maybe it was Heavy Hands, but I'm kind of at this point I've listened to so many previous shows, they're all blending together in my head a little bit. So apologies if I'm fucking that up, but a couple different shows pointed out that Whittaker's stomped everybody. I know Dan Tom was one of them. Whittaker stomped everybody's knee ever since. Oh no, you know it was Dan Tom on every single show that I listened to him on. Is where I heard this was Whittaker has been stomping people's knees ever since the Yoel fight. Like consistently over time, every single time he's stomping everybody's knees out, and that is exactly the kind of problems Cannonier's been having. Plus, Cannonier's notoriously not great at checking leg kicks. I think Dan Tom was also the one who brought up the fact...
He's great at inside leg kicks.
No, he's great at throwing leg kicks, but I believe it was Dan Tom that brought up the fact that Cannonier, I think, has checked one kick in his career. It was in his last fight. Or maybe it was in the... Yeah, I want to say it was in the Hermanson fight, or the... I want to say. I could be mixing that up, because, again... Fucking, it's late at night. We've been talking about a lot of different podcasts and stuff, but yeah, man. So I'm gonna take Whitaker, but mostly just because I think he's gonna do leg damage to Cannonier. I think Cannonier's offense is fucked after that. However, Whitaker also stands in a super long stance with that karate in out movement, and that also makes you ultra susceptible to leg kicks, which Cannonier throws super fucking hard, as seen in the Jack Hermanson and a couple other fights. So, man, I think a lot of this fight comes down to who fucks up whose legs first and how bad. And then I think the rest of the fight plays off of that.
So I'm going to go based on this aggregate of odds. This fight, honestly, is dead even at a minus 115.
Yeah, it's been up and down all week. I know
50-50 fight.
Earlier this afternoon when I was listening to Shaq and Fernanda on that podcast, the 1-2 Punch podcast, I believe I said in chat during that it was, I think Cannonier was minus 110 to... No, it was minus 105 to plus 100 Whitaker or something like that. So it's been really close all week long, and for good reason, I think. Also, I can't pick the dude who's saying Q shit on Twitter. Like, I mean, I could, I guess, but like I won't. But that's not why I'm picking Whitaker.
No, and so, like I said, I'm picking Cannonier because I think he's just gonna find Whitaker's chin. I think
it's super possible, dude.
I'm not saying this. I think Whitaker's a more skilled fighter, and he should win. Like, honestly, I expect Whitaker to win, but I just have this feeling. It's one of those things where, like, you know how sometimes you got to pick someone because you just kind of think that's how things shape up, and you can't really put logic behind it. I just honestly think Cannonier does a good job at finding someone's chin, and for some reason I feel like he's gonna knock Whitaker the fuck out in the second round. And maybe I'm entirely wrong, and I expect Whitaker to win. Who I do expect to win, but it's just one of those fights. I was like, I think Cannonier's gonna win, and there's no real reason behind it.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons, but I got you. Yeah. Oh, so we were finally to this.
So this main event, there's plenty of reasons to choose either side.
Yeah,
and there really are.
All the reasons to choose both sides, probably.
Can you argue this? As far as lightweight title fights, could this be the closest pick yet? I mean, realistically.
In recent history, at least.
Yes.
At least for the Khabib run, yeah. Like, no, when it comes to, like, back in the day shit, like, obviously, but...
If this was Tony... Right,
no, this...
Say he didn't fight Justin, or he would have beat Justin, you obviously go with Tony, right?
I see what you're saying. No, actually, against Khabib, I think I would probably go...
Because I picked Khabib against Tony, honestly.
I was thinking Tony for a while, but the time off, and then, like, Eddie Bravo's Misty bullshit, which I brought up on this. I feel bad. I brought that up on the Severe MMA when I was on their. I was in chat for their Zoom stuff back in the day, and Shawnee had us all do picks right before that Gaethje Tony fight. I was like, well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure not picking the guy with Eddie Bravo in their corner during a pandemic. And then that was the fight where Eddie Bravo in the corner was like, I don't know what to tell you. It was like just a complete shit show. Felt a little bad about that one, but yeah, man. I honestly think, I've been saying for a while, I think Gaethje's the hardest matchup for Khabib, just stylistically. Like, it's just a nightmare matchup.
So, this is interesting. Like, I want to pick Khabib just because he's dominated everyone who he's fought, regardless of their background. But I realistically, honestly, want to pick Justin based on his bread and butter is just his wrestling style. Obviously, he's better at center control, center octagon, because he's a college wrestler, NCAA 2-time All-American champion, right? D1 champion. Which gives an advantage if they beat in the center and he has to scramble because the scrambles are so great. I think he was a guy who defended many takedowns from Jordan Burroughs, who's considered by a lot of people the best college wrestler.
Jordan Burroughs fucked Ben Askren's whole shit up in a grappling match not that long ago.
So my brain. My brain says Khabib, but my heart says Gaethje. This is the one fight.
I mean, I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at, right?
And there's really no wrong. This really is 50-50 fight. You're really not wrong for picking either one.
No, I think this is the most legit. I'll say right now. I think what happens. This is how the fight goes. I think Khabib obviously shoots. He's not gonna try to stand with him. He's not fucking dumb. I think he will just to set up the level change phase, and then.
So I think what happens is you see Khabib kind of like trying to take him down for the first round. I'll say this right now. I think Gaethje stuffs every takedown in the first round.
Yeah.
And kind of clips him with a couple things, and then Khabib's like, oh, fuck. So Gaethje takes round 1. I think round 2, Khabib corners him, gets him against the fence, then takes him down, and then he lands some ground and pound stuff. And then I think Gaethje gets up. I think it's just a constant... He takes me down, I get up, I land him with some shots, and I honestly think I'm saying this right now. And I'm not saying this because of the odds. I think Gaethje knocks him out in like the 4th, 5th round.
Wow, wait, that late, really?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those like war of attritions, and it's like who's ready to die kind of shit. And you know what? I'm calling right now. Gaethje's gonna fucking take down Khabib. He's gonna take him down.
Wait, you're saying Gaethje's gonna go for the first takedown of his career in this fight?
No. This is later in the fight.
No, of his career. When has he taken anyone down, Chris?
Never.
Okay, so you're saying the first one ever is gonna be against Khabib?
Yeah, why not?
Oh shit, that is controversial, sir.
He'll win on the feet. He'll knock him out on the feet, and it'll be a TKO ground and pound. But and I know I'll be wrong. I know the real answer is it's Khabib by dominant decision. That's what it's really gonna be. But it's like,
I mean, maybe Gaethje fucks him up.
This is the thing. Let's talk about this.
So wait. Before you get to this, what was your official call?
I'm going Gaethje TKO round 4.
Wow, that's brave, sir. All right, what were you gonna say?
I'm wrong. So the realest thing is after this, watch. So if Khabib wins, it's like clockwork. He'll fight George St. Pierre, maybe. Not really. If he does, doesn't matter. He'll retire. That's his last fight. He just wants to just be fight.
That's definitely what they're looking for.
If Gaethje wins, Mr. McNuggets, he'll be like, oh, after I beat Dustin, you're next. And then it's obviously Gaethje's champion, so he won't give a fuck. I think Gaethje... I mean, realistically, yeah, Gaethje waits for the winner of that fight. Because it's like, okay, he's like, well, Dustin beat me, I want my revenge, or fuck McGregor for being a clown. So it's like, either way, you're in a good position if you're Gaethje, unless you want to ask Khabib for a rematch. You know what I mean? So he has options. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
I almost think if you're Gaethje, rematch Khabib.
Yeah, well, I know Ali and everybody is banking on fucking the GSP bullshit.
Yeah.
Which even Gaethje has come out and said, like, I believe there was a clip of Gaethje being like, fuck Khabib, fuck Ali, fuck all that, their plans. I'm going to come in there and ruin that shit.
Yeah, I think if Gaethje wins, he just asks to be, hey, want to run it back? Because he'll just be like, okay, well, what if I beat this guy twice? Then that puts more stock on me.
Well, and if you want to make some motherfucking money, dog.
I mean, yeah.
The UFC will probably try to run it back either way. Because that's crazy money. At this point,
Gaethje doesn't give a fuck about fighting anyone. I mean, like, who do you take in Gaethje versus Conor? I kind of.
I don't care. That idiot doesn't fight. And he also is. I'd like to see whether or not he's up on actual charges before we even discuss that.
Well, yeah, and that's a very good point you bring up too, because like, what's going on with that? You know, is he just? It's just all just a massive distraction, and he's about to go back to the little fucking jail.
He sure talks a lot right before he does something like pulling his dick out in public, doesn't he? So I have zero. I don't give a fuck about that idiot until if and when he fights. Maybe we'll talk about it, but.
So my pick is I got Gaethje by TKO round 4. I mean, I in all honesty, I think Khabib's gonna win by decision.
Yeah, I think Gaethje has 2 rounds to knock out Khabib, or else he's fucked. To be honest, like That's kind of where I'm at.
Honestly, I don't think anyone beats Khabib.
Well,
for maybe like a prime GSP, but obviously that's not possible. So
right. Well, I mean, at 155, at 170,
Yeah.
I think a lot of those wrestlers do. Just because they're too big. And like Colby's volume, Khabib will lose decisions on Colby's volume.
Oh no, Colby beats Khabib 1,000%.
I think Kamaru 100%.
Too.
I think
No,
like
that's
anybody
that's
who's a dominant wrestler at
Khabib's
170, I think is a
boy.
problem.
But he needs a 165-pound division.
I would love to see it once.
Like, are there some 170ers? You know what? I honestly think Khabib beats Leon Edwards. I'm not even kidding.
That would be a great 165. If you
Yeah.
want to put that
I
at the
think
165,
Edwards-
I would watch it.
I can see Khabib beating Wonderboy if he can avoid some of those shots, honestly, because I think he could dump on his head. And
That would be a really fun fight.
I'm not even
actually.
kidding.
That'd be a
No,
real.
I'm just-
You want to talk
I'm
about
just
Sean Sheehan's dream fight? That seems like
I'm
that
just
would
trying to
probably be
imagine
up
some
there.
170 fights that Khabib
No,
can
that
win.
would be really interesting. That would be such an old school style matchup.
And
That'd be like a.
I also think Khabib
throwback
can
shit.
wrestle fuck Jorge because he's kind of on the smaller side, honestly.
Yeah, those would be the two fun ones, probably, right?
Yeah.
Is Wonderboy and
you know, I
Jorge.
also think Khabib dominates Nate Diaz. Not that we need to
Well,
bring it to
that's
the
yeah.
yeah, because look what Rory McDonald did.
I mean, yeah, that's.
I mean-
I wouldn't be.
But then again,
competitive.
you already know Nate Diaz ain't calling a Khabib because he'll just say, "I already slapped him."
Well, no, he's Diaz brothers don't fight wrestlers anymore. I don't know
Yeah.
if you noticed.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not
not
their
dumb.
shit. No,
And that's the thing too. When is that dumbass fighting again? Who knows?
I don't.
Like,
Well, no. To be fair, good for them because Nate Diaz has no incentive to fight because they won't pay him worth it.
yeah,
what
and he's
worth,
already
so.
cashed out. My point is like, if I was matchmaker, I would have tried to do Hamzat versus Nate because that would be fun.
No, Nate will never sign that fucking contract. Who cares?
Yeah. 'cause
Oh, you're gonna
but,
get Nate to fight a Dagestani wrestler, bro. Oh, that has one fight in the
or a
UFC.
Chechen, you know what I mean, Chechen.
Okay,
yeah.
Chechen wrestler that has one fight in the UFC. Good luck, bro. Let me know that. Let me know how soon he gets back to you on that. That'll never happen. All right, so I guess my take on this shit is I'm taking Gaethje. God damn it! But he has to get a finish in like 2.5 rounds.
Dude, I mean, he can win the decision though.
Well, and here's my big question going into this fight is, does Gaethje throw body shots? And I don't know that he does because it
I think he
kind
just
of.
attacks the legs.
Well, that's the thing is, if he does throw body shots, that puts you in close enough range, and it really gives Khabib underhook opportunities. But if you stay way outside and just throw, like, you kind of feint your way in and throw a bunch of leg kicks and then bomb on him with counters, you're a little bit less vulnerable. But I think weighing on Khabib's cardio is also a good idea. So I it'll be interesting to see how he balances that, because honestly, a lot of Gaethje's recent improvements have also, a lot of people, like, yes, he is much better about getting in and getting out and kind of using space better and looking for opportunities and not just throwing every time he gets into range, but he also has been much better about going to the body. And I don't know, like, Trevor Whitman's the kind of guy that I feel like might be hesitant to have Gaethje go to the body early. I feel like after he might throw, like, when you're punishing takedowns and circling out on, like, the second time you stuff, like, when you stuff the takedown, sprawl circle, stuff the follow up, and then throw a body shot on the way out, that kind of shit we might see. But I don't know that we're gonna just see Gaethje coming in and, like, just banging to the body off of combos. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays
I like
out.
your points, but who do you take in a potential rematch between Poirier and Gaethje? Because at this point, I think I like Gaethje.
It really depends. It depends on when they do it. It depends on how this fight goes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, that fight is kind of a coin toss every time it happens, just based on what dude shows up for both of them. Because Poirier is, like, very style dependent and, like, streak dependent in a lot of ways, I feel like, especially recently. So, and he's been on a great run, which means,
so we'll leave it at that. I think so.
But
we both have,
yeah,
we both
so
have Gaethje, right?
yeah, I'm gonna go Gaethje officially. I'm gonna go Gaethje. I guess I gotta go TKO on the second. which is
I'm
terrifying.
going TKO fourth, which is a terrible pick. My brain says Khabib via decision, or you know what? My brain says submission round
4 or 5.
4 or 5. I mean, I think it's a Kimura or rear naked.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smart pick.
So,
but
I'll
I
say
just,
the
man,
odds.
I just, something about Gaethje.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup for Khabib. I mean, and
It's the worst one we've seen.
Yeah.
At least since Gleason Tebow.
Yeah,
Fucking
right.
forever ago.
So we got Gaethje's as a plus 250 to a minus 325 of Khabib.
And that's probably fair, but also...
So that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah, man, we've gone long as shit, but I feel like this card was worth it.
Yeah, I'll try to catch up as much as I can tomorrow. I'm gonna stay off social media. Don't fucking text me.
I won't, I promise. That's right, this card starts in less than 7 hours from
I gotta
right
buy
now.
it actually because a bunch of my roommates had said they're about to Venmo me once I buy it. So
Also, you should immediately send me the files for this because I have to get this posted
I'm gonna do it right
after.
now. I'm gonna do it right now.
I have to get this posted after the show rather than
Yeah.
tomorrow morning like normal.
Let's go ahead and sign off now because
Yeah.
it's midnight. I'll send it to you in the next 20 minutes.
Well, on that note, y'all, we love you. As always, link in the description, and if you for all the stuff we talk about, and if you go to thesoundofviolence.com, we have links to literally every single thing we talk about. Oh God, you know what? I didn't mention my fucking well-rounded stuff, so I'm just gonna list it very fast right now. The Syndicate podcast, it's dope. It's about weed smuggling in Denver that was under basically a covert legal grow that was actually illegal shipping weed to Minnesota. Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show. You know Zach Amico from the fucking appearances on Legion of Skanks? Well, he has a show where he watches movies with friends and gets fucked up, and it's great. He also is affiliated with Trauma, and Trauma has live streaming stuff. So if you want to watch fucked up movies like Class of Nukem High, that's there. Full Moon Direct has Evil Bong, the full series. If you have not seen the Evil Bong series, do yourself a favor, smoke some weed and watch the Evil Bong series. It's fucking great. Cook Serve Delicious 3 is the best video game out right now. And y'all should listen to Gravediggers, which is a dope horrorcore rap group from the 90s featuring RZA and a bunch of other people. And it's fucking great. 6 Feet Under is one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's very Halloween-y, so enjoy it. Chris, you got anything?
Yeah.
He's going to say MLB The Show, you guys.
No.
He's going to say Fall Guys Season 2.
No, not that. Cyberpunk. Comes out in about 3
Cyberpunk!
weeks.
Oh, shit, is it that soon?
Yeah, November, I think it's like 18th or 20th.
Oh, shit. Well, after I move, I might have to get
That's gonna be it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be everyone's gonna be talking about it.
We gonna be talking about it for sure.
The other thing that's we're talking about,
fucks
and
with CD
unfortunately
Projekt
I
Red.
haven't gone through it yet, is Ghost of Tsushima Legends. It's a brand new expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. It's free. This is why.
Oh yeah, I heard good shit about it.
There's a 2-player co-op story, which is like fucking 10, 20 hours long, and then there's like a 4-player raid mode. It's supposed to be absolutely fantastic. So, I don't know if you have to have Ghost of Tsushima original game. I'm not sure, because if you don't, you should download it because that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you how to teach you how to play the game. It's fun.
Oh yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Like,
No, it's real easy. You know, I'll just teach you how to play Dark Souls on the fly, bro. It'll be simple.
it's not okay. I'll say it's not.
No,
like
it's
Sekiro.
not Dark Souls. Yeah.
It's not like Sekiro.
Well,
where
to be
it's
fair, Sekiro is like fucking even more Dark Soulsy than Dark Souls shit.
Don't get me wrong. There is a mode on Ghost of Tsushima called Lethal, where if you get hit like twice, you're dead. But
Yeah.
I've only tried that once, and I've done okay at it. But then like it gets frustrating because it's like, wait, if they hit you with a bow and arrow from far away, then you hate the game. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here. But as always, you guys can hit us up on Twitter. Please do TSOV Pod. Let us know what MMA podcast we should be listening to each week. There's only so many hours, and we only have so much time. So we always appreciate people letting us know the shit they're liking. And that's how we find all the cool shit out there. So please do that. And Chris, you got anything else before we get out of here?
That's gonna do it.
Well, then until next week, y'all. Go do something decadent. And actually, wait, Chris, next week is Halloween weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So does that mean we're doing a commentary for the classic
We'd have
WC
to.
event, Halloween Havoc 2? Or wait, not Halloween Havoc. That's the fucking pro wrestling
Whatever
one,
movie
right?
you got lined up, I got to hit up G6 too, because we got to get him in here on.
It's not Halloween Havoc. I do this every fucking time. It's Halloween Fury 2. But yeah, we're gonna do that. And it's gonna be a great.
I got to hit up
time.
G6. See where he's at.
That's true. But even if we don't do it with G6, there's always Halloween Fury 3 and Halloween Fury 4 down the road if we need to.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I think we'll maybe doing that next week instead of a preview for the fight card. We'll see. But
I'm down.
Keep your eyes out. So until then, everybody, we love you. Go do something decadent. We out. Bye.
Liked by the sound of violence.